evidence. Why would we get it? Why would we get it? Why would we get it?
into my body, I was spontaneously healed. After I came back into my body, I was spontaneously healed. After I came back into my body, I was spontaneously healed. After I came back into my body, I was spontaneously healed.
Truth seekers, exposing the truth. Truth seekers, coming for you. Truth seekers, exposing the lies. Truth seekers, open your eyes. They lie again, have you had your fill? Let go of lies, take your second red pill. I know you've had your fill. It's time to take your second red pill. I know you've had your fill. It's time to take your pill. I know you've had your fill. It's time to take your second red pill. Truth seekers exposing the truth. Truth seekers coming for you. Truth seekers exposing the lies. Truth seekers, open your eyes. It's time to take your second red pill. I know you've had your fill. It's time to take your second red pill. Truth seekers exposing the truth. Truth seekers coming for you. Truth seekers exposing the lies. Truth seekers, open your eyes.
Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back. Tonight, we will be presenting a short history on one Dr. Stephen Greer. And it's interesting that several years ago, we basically did an all-out assault on Dr. Stephen Greer, his fake whistleblowers, the people that he associates with, like Third Phase of Moon. By the way, one indicator that this man is not credible is that currently the people who make his documentaries with him are Blake and Brent Cousins, who you may know better as Third Phase of Moon, who are notoriously the biggest UFO hoaxers in YouTube history. And just so everyone is aware, you can go to our free documentary section here on our YouTube channel. Just go to the main channel, scroll all the way down to free documentaries, and there's some 5-hour evidence of hoaxes and fake UFO videos, fake alien videos. We destroyed their entire history. They've been doing it for decades. So maybe, just maybe, if the people making your films are notorious faker UFO hoaxers on YouTube, it doesn't really look like you may be very credible. So several years ago, we really hit Dr. Stephen Greer hard, and I did some exhaustive research into his various claims. One of my favorite claims that he makes is that he briefed every sitting U.S. president since Ronald Reagan. So we went to all of the presidential libraries, and all we found was one letter that he sent to President Clinton. He sent it to the White House. So apparently, if you just send a letter to the White House, you can claim you briefed the president. So, by the way, I've sent a letter last week to Joe Biden about the coming alien invasion, and I'm going to send a new letter to Donald Trump to the White House. And then I'm going to say that I briefed the last two presidents about the aliens and UFOs visiting Earth. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I have to, cards on the table, put this on the record. Back in 2000, maybe 1998, I first heard about Dr. Stephen Greer and followed him very closely. But at the time, I didn't know that the guy just lies constantly. He just makes things up, and nobody fact checks him, because there's this unwritten rule in the land of UFOs and aliens that you don't call any of the grifters on their bull, or they'll call you on your grifting bull. But back then, I thought he was a credible researcher. After all, he's a former medical doctor. But this speaks to the amount of money. I love it when stupid people say, oh, there's no money in UFOs, Stephen. We can track Dr. Stephen Greer's, just his crowdfunding for his documentaries, where he's collected $1 million for one, $500,000 for two or three. And then go look at the documentaries. It doesn't take $1 million to make some of these documentaries, or even $500,000 if we're being kind and polite. Let's say he paid $50,000 to create these crowd-funded documentaries. What happens? My big question is, what happens to the surplus money? Like if you tell your audience, and by the way, he did this once. Oh, there's an emergency. There's going to be a fake alien invasion, and I need to hurry up and make a documentary to warn everybody. And he collected $500,000. Go look at that documentary. He spent max. I don't know. I could have made that documentary for 10 grand, but what do I know? I'm just an independent content producer, video editor, filmmaker, I guess. And granted, his documentaries are basically like filmed sit down interviews and then a ton of stock video. Anybody can go get Envato Elements for $20 a month and get all the stock video you want. And if half the documentary is stock video, how are you spending $500,000 on filming some sit down interviews or whatever? So we're going to get into all of this tonight. But before we begin, we want to recognize the live chat. We see we already have some very kind and very generous people, and I haven't even set the goal for tonight. So we're setting the goal for tonight at 50 super chats of $2 or better, and we have a couple hours in which to do it. And if we hit the goal, I will go through the first third phase of Moon exposed documentary and offer some commentary on that, because it is literally a laugh riot looking at how many times we have caught Stephen Greer's filmmakers faking UFO videos. My favorite is they live in Hawaii, and so myself and the filmmaker who actually made the first documentary, Sapiens Culture, was able to geolocate and find out that many of their early UFO videos that they were posting on YouTube were all filmed in Hawaii, less than a mile or 2 miles from their house. Wow, what are the odds? These guys got all these UFO videos and they're right near their house. So we'll be doing that. We have the goal set. And but we will take a moment to thank some kind and generous benefactors. Remember, we are viewer supported, and your funds help keep us honest. I know a lot of people who started out on that whole search for UFO and alien truth, honest. And eventually they figured out, wow, in order to make any money at this and make a living, I'm going to have to start grifting. So your kind and generous benefactors, you kind of generous benefactors out there, help me stay not a grifter. Zero, who's a Praise the Cash member, just gifted 5 Truth Seekers memberships, which is this is a great time to remind you, smash that subscribe button, because if you come to the live chat and a kind and generous person like Zero here gifts free memberships, you could win one. YouTube just randomly gives them out somehow to people in the live chat who are subscribed to our channel but not yet members. You have to be subscribed to the channel in order to qualify for the free memberships. So Based IRL got a free membership, Lily Ann got a free membership, Beck got a free membership, Toto got a free membership, and Ironcaster got a free membership. All thanks to the kindness, generosity, and support of Zero. Thank you, Zero. And everybody in the live chat should thank people who have given you free membership. Fat Chick Thriller is already here saying, getting the ball rolling. Praise the cash. God bless the goal. And Lord Ludacris is here. Thank you, Fat Chick Thriller. Yes, praise the cash. Lord Ludacris, long time show supporter, says, hell yeah, I want to see you bust these frauds again. Lord Ludacris was here 2 years ago. We took Stephen Greer and especially Third Phase of Moon and Goofon apart. We just disassembled their whole grift. But of course, they're still grifting. So it's a thankless endeavor sometimes. Dwayne Dibley with a kind and generous 5. And thank you, Lord Ludacris. And Dwayne Dibley says, God bless the goal. Well, we're pretty far from it now. I always get nervous. Okay, we've got 3 for the goal. Remember, any super chat of $2 or better will help us towards that goal for this evening. So we're going to get into some pretty funny stuff, including Lord Ludacris says, facts. Yes. We're going to get into some of this history of Dr. Stephen Greer, and there's some really funny stuff. I've got I think my funniest video ever is about Dr. Stephen Greer's porta potty secret UFO base where they back engineer the alien technology. But he puts this information out, and I'm looking at this. I'm looking at these illustrations and there's porta potties. There's actually porta potties in the illustrations. Like they could build a top secret underground alien back engineering base, but they can't put a bathroom in that bitch. So that's one of my funniest videos. We're going to include it in tonight. We want to thank Ty Lee with one for the goal, $1.99. Very generous of you. Thank you, Ty Lee. And Sandra McDonald with a kind and generous $2.99 Australian saying, praise the cash. We are starting off right, friends. We are starting off right. But before we begin tonight's broadcast, I want to share some bad news with you all. And that is that every time certain grifters are very defensive of their grifts. And we routinely get no ad revenue when we do these sort of Stephen Greer exposed or David Wilcock exposed show because the grifters fight back with false copyright claims. And that's just an unfortunate side effect. But I have decided that my audience is so kind and generous that I don't have to worry about the ad pennies. If we get demonetized tonight because somebody copyright claims us falsely. By the way, everything we're doing tonight is fair use. We're using whatever we're sharing to educate the public. We're critiquing it, we're analyzing it. I provide commentary. The live chat is talking about what we're sharing, making it a totally transformative work. So these false copyright claims are absolutely ridiculous. But I wanted to just give you an example. This is one of the last times that we covered Greer, and this one is our video, Dr. Stephen Greer digs a big hole. Stephen Cambion calls his bluff. We did a two-part series exposing him lying to people on the Sean Ryan show. And for whatever reason, Sean Ryan copyright claimed. And listen, here's where it gets ridiculous. I think this was a 4-hour stream. But because we used 1 minute and 56 seconds, not even 1 minute, 1 minute and 15 seconds looks like. We used 1 minute and 15 seconds, something like that, of the Sean Ryan show. So due to that, the entire 4-hour stream gets demonetized. Now we still get the free memberships if people gift them, and we still get the super chats, PayPal pledges. If you become a Patreon supporter or a YouTube channel member, or you send a buy me a coffee, we still get that. So, but these are the tactics that are used to stop people from exposing. And quite often it's literally child's play to expose the fakery, fraudery, and bullshittery. But we constantly get dinged with demonetization for exposing the truth behind these sensational clickbait hucksters. So I just want to take a moment to thank you, kind and generous benefactors. People like Dono of Spite. Steve, do you want me to send you more UFO videos? Sure. Thank you for your kindness. And that's one for the goal. And Fat Chick Thriller with another one, $2.99. Legal letters standing by alien scammers. Yeah, we've won every false copyright claim. But to be honest, sometimes I'm not aware of these copyright claims. Maybe I don't get the notification. So for years now, people have been watching this Stephen Greer exposed video. By the way, we put 8 hours of just screen time into that expose. In other words, I streamed for like 8 hours, 7 or 8 hours. Both of them demonetized for using like a 1 minute clip from somebody. And how am I supposed to expose the lies and the fraud if I'm not allowed to play the video of the lies and the fraud? But these are the tactics that some of these grifters do in order to not be embarrassed, or they don't want to have to answer for why they are constantly getting caught sending, promoting fake nonsense. So another consequence of this getting demonetized is sometimes the YouTube algorithm just says, well, your content is not advertiser friendly. So although we're going to have some really wild and crazy and fun stuff tonight, I have to begin the video sort of scholarly in order that we don't get demonetized. Apparently the algorithm checks the first, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. So please don't get bored, but it's important that we educate the public. And the best thing that we could do is sort of a pre-written script that is professional and advertiser friendly, I might add. Now, I want to put on the record too, like I said, I've been following this guy for a long time. And one of the things that I think is so funny is this guy's made like 8 documentaries since this. But this is 2001. And this book that he sold for hundreds of dollars, look at this. The Disclosure Project is a nonprofit research project. It's no longer a nonprofit, to the best of my knowledge. It's now a for profit company working to fully disclose the facts about UFOs, extraterrestrial intelligence, and classified advanced energy and propulsion systems. We have over 450 government, military, and intelligence community witnesses uh, testifying to their direct, personal, firsthand experience with UFOs, extraterrestrials, extraterrestrial technology, and the cover up that keeps the information secret. And then he says, "This is the smoking gun." Well, if you had the smoking gun evidence and proof in 2001 and we're selling this book full of fake, it's full of fake government documents and fake government insiders and nonsense. Someday I'm going to have the time to go through. I have to get a scanner and we're going to scan some of the best bits. This is his really big first foray into grifting. So we want to put it on the record that there's no evidence. There's almost no evidence. There's stories because that's what we get. And by the way, there's a new so-called UFO whistleblower directly tied to Stephen Greer, calling himself a whistleblower. Turns out he's a former heroin addict. Great guy. But let us begin with our studious, scholarly, advertiser-friendly article that I have prepared about Dr. Stephen Greer and his history. Dr. Stephen Greer has long been a polarizing figure in the UFO community, presenting himself as a whistleblower and expert on extraterrestrial phenomena. He has garnered significant attention through his Disclosure Project, CE5 events, and other endeavors. A closer look reveals a troubling pattern of evidence-free claims, fake government whistleblowers, fake government documents, profit-driven ventures, and associations with dubious figures. Tonight, we'll be critically examining the history of Dr. Greer's claims and activities, exposing the flaws, and some say fraud, and inconsistencies that cast serious doubt on his credibility. We will beginning tonight. When we begin tonight, we will be stressing that Mr. Greer has been at this for 30 years. And due to that long history of claims, there is a treasure trove of evidence free claims and huge exaggerations. One of Dr. Greer's most audacious claims is that he has briefed every U.S. president since Ronald Reagan on UFOs and extraterrestrial matters. However, no credible evidence supports this claim. We've checked public records. We've gotten testimonies from presidential staff and statements from their media offices in some cases. And the presidents themselves fail to corroborate these alleged briefings that Dr. Stephen Greer claims he gave every president since Ronald Reagan. So there is a huge pattern of exaggerated claims that is emblematic of Greer's broader narrative, where grandiose claims are presented without verifiable proof. And somehow Dr. Greer can turn sending a letter to the White House into briefing President Clinton about aliens and UFOs. These events never happened. And interestingly, when we started exposing that, he started walking things back. And instead of saying, I briefed every US president, he started saying, I sent every US president a briefing. Well, I could send a bunch of trash to the White House too. Is the trash in this part of the briefings? This is filled with fake government documents. Why would a president be interested in fake government documents? It's kind of ridiculous. And then, of course, he associates with very disreputable figures. That's my big word of the day, disreputable figures. Dr. Greer's collaborations with individuals like Billy Carson, who's just been exposed as a complete and total fraud, and the creators of the YouTube channel Third Phase of Moon, further undermine his credibility. Billy Carson, known for promoting fake interpretations of fake ancient texts like the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean, has been widely criticized for his lack of scholarly rigor and has recently been exposed as using completely and totally fake sources to make his sensational claims. This, of course, reflects on Dr. Stephen Greer because they have a business relationship Greer goes on his show. He goes on Billy Carson's show. They're in each other's documentary projects. It's trickle down griftonomics. And Third Phase of Moon are bottom feeding scumbags who, on the other hand, have a history of promoting completely and totally fake UFO videos. So, my point here is that no real credible researcher, author, or documentarian or filmmaker would associate with grifting clowns because they would know that it would reflect badly on them. And imagine for a moment Dr. Stephen Greer is making films with the biggest faker, fraudster, hoaxers of UFOs in UFO history in the form of Third Phase of Moon. There is literally 5 hours of documentary evidence that they fake things constantly for decades. Why would you get known faker, fraudster, hoaxers to make your films with you unless you yourself were a fraud and knew it? So, by associating with these less than credible figures, and by the way, there's more, these are just a few examples, Dr. Greer aligns himself with known purveyors of hoaxes, fake information, disinformation, and misinformation, which casts severe doubt on any integrity in his own work. Dr. Greer has also been accused of promotion of fake whistleblowers. Dr. Greer has introduced several so called whistleblowers who have provided sensational but unsupported claims about UFOs and extraterrestrial technology. These individuals also often lack credible backgrounds or they exaggerate their backgrounds and military or intelligence experience, and their stories frequently crumble under scrutiny. By platforming such dubious figures, Greer perpetuates a cycle of misinformation while capitalizing on the public's fascination with UFOs without ever actually delivering any evidence of his fantastic claims. Dr. Greer's ventures, including books, documentaries, and very expensive CE5 events, generate significant revenue. While monetization itself is not inherently unethical, the reliance on unverified claims and sensationalism raises questions about the integrity of those efforts. Critics like myself and others have argued that Greer's primary focus appears to be on financial gain. After all, just from crowdfunding records alone, we can show you that he's collected millions of dollars from the public. Um, so it appears that his real motive is financial gain rather than advancing any genuine scientific understanding or this thing that people call disclosure. Dr. Stephen Greer's legacy in the UFO community is marked by a very consistent pattern of unverified claims, over sensationalized claims, financial exploitations, and associations with disreputable figures that he works with. While he has successfully built a brand that capitalizes on public interest in extraterrestrial or UFO phenomenon, his lack of credible evidence and reliance on sensationalism undermines his credibility. For those genuinely interested in understanding the UFO phenomenon, it's essential to approach all of Dr. Stephen Greer's claims with severe skepticism and demand rigorous evidence based inquiry into his claims. So, um, let me just catch up with the live chat here. We've got a great audience tonight. I'm so thankful. Fat Chick Thriller with another one. Heroin addicts are known for their trustworthiness. Yes, one for the goal. Thank you very much. Based IRL. Let's hit the goal. Let's go. Stephen, my mom loves your content. Thank you for the excellent investigative journalism. Well, thank you, and say hi to your mom for me. You should tell me what her name is, and we'll give her a shout out. Thank you, Based IRL, for your kindness, generosity, and support. That's one for the goal, friends, and we've got another one from Fat Chick Thriller, the Dono Bomber. 20% to the goal. Let's get some donos, chat. Thank you for encouraging. And MPole3 with the kind and generous $5 says, praise the cash, bish. Yes, yes. Yeah, and we want to thank all of our new Keno Casino friends for being here in the live chat. I did some bumpers for those guys. They're doing a show tonight, so I don't know if they're going to have time to work those bumpers in. But to thank them, I did some bumpers, right? Yes, Kevin Alt reminding us one of the Cousins brothers was at the congressional meetings. Yeah. Uh, Steve acting like he doesn't know her name. No, don't say that. I don't know his mom. Come on, dude. I'm not banging anybody's mom but my kid's mom. Don't tell my kids, right? Someday my my autistic son doesn't really understand, but my younger son, we always tell him that we have to have a meeting. Someday he's going to need counseling when he finds out what a meeting is. Ben Man vibing with a kind and generous $2. Another one towards the goal. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Yes, Kino Casino came over here and found the crazies here. Yes, absolutely. So before we begin, I have some fun things to share. Like, one of Mr. Greer's claims is that he has the superpowered ability um, to summon aliens and UFOs, even though he's been caught and there's been some allegations of fraud. And it's not just me accusing him of it. And multiple people have investigated this one story where Stephen Greer took thousands of dollars from people and took them out on a beach. I think it was in Florida, to the best of my recollection, and showed them the golden ones, the golden spaceships. But that turned out to be flares. And somebody in an airplane was dropping flares right as Stephen Greer was having this event. And that's a big problem. We're going to get into the proof of that. But I just think it's kind of hysterical to look in the history. So someone once asked Dr. Stephen Greer, "Hey, how did you come up with these CE5 protocols to summon aliens and UFOs?" And boy, does he have a story about that, friends. So let me put my fair use banner up. This is a transformative work. We're educating the public, and we will be critiquing the video that we are sharing. This is just so stupid that I have to share it. This is how he got his superpowers, friends. Let's take a listen.
Well, being young and I kind of got on the ground. I hate to admit this now, sort of in the fetal position, sort of like, what is this? And it was had this beautiful almond-shaped eye, like deer eyes, but it was an extraterrestrial biological life form. And he came up to me and touched me on my right shoulder, and whatever happened, the electromagnetic effect of it, all my hair, I had more hair then, stood on end completely, and I was totally electromagnetized. And subsequently, we went from there, and in an instant, went on board this craft. And what happened after that is sort of metaphysical, in the sense that we seemed to dematerialize and then appear out in space, and I was sitting with these other extraterrestrial beings in a meditative state. And people say, well, what were they saying? I said, it wasn't about saying, it was about being. But what we did was that I was teaching them what it was like for a young man, to be in cosmic consciousness as a human. And then that's where we met. We met in that state of cosmic consciousness. And then we created what's known as the CE5 protocols, the close encounters of fifth kind protocols. That's where they came from. And basically I began to practice this ability with them to see them in the mind's eye and then vector them to a location and have an encounter. And they told me that at some point this would be very important to know how to teach other people.
Sounds totally believable, right? That a group of aliens would meditate with Dr. Stephen Greer and then show him how to summon other aliens. And by the way, he's been caught dead to rights, taking thousands of dollars from people and showing them things like flares and claiming it's alien spaceships. In another case, he showed people a cactus off in the distance in the desert. We're going to see proof of that, and claimed it was this alien being named Bijou, right? It's just so ridiculous. And the fraud claims are, to me, the most troubling. And it's interesting that there is also this sort of grifter beef between two alien grifters. Two of the biggest alien grifters are Dr. Stephen Greer and Lou Elizondo. And there's a big beef between them, which is pretty interesting. So we're going to get and share that. I'm trying to find this 1 second here. The battle for disclosure, somebody mentioned in the live chat, it is more like the battle of bull. Interestingly, we're seeing sort of a change in the media landscape, which I find to be interesting. So there are some big podcasts like the PBD podcast and Joe Rogan who had Dr. Greer's grifting buddy, Billy Carson, on. And then they had Wesley Huff on recently. We might do another show, just an update of Billy Carson getting completely destroyed by Wes Huff. So it seems like some of these bigger podcasts are finally starting to take responsibility when they host a grifter and then get somebody on the other side, the skeptical side of the argument, to come in and expose them. So interesting. PBD just had Wes Huff, but they also asked Elizondo, because Stephen Greer is claiming that Elizondo is a CIA disinformation agent, something that I'm not even sure I disagree with. I might agree on that. I don't know, but it's interesting what happened. And so the PBD podcast brings up Greer's allegations against Lou Elizondo. I just wanted to share this about their beef because it's funny when two grifters are like, oh no, I'm not a liar, but that guy's a liar, right? So again, this is Fair Use, the transformative work. We're educating the public. We'll be critiquing the video and talking about it. And our live chat is also participating, making it a transformative work. This is Fair Use.
Hey, let me ask you another question. Stephen Greer, what are your thoughts on Stephen Greer?
I don't know him. So I don't ever usually have an opinion on anybody. I never talk about anybody if I haven't had a chance to meet them personally.
So I had him on for the second time 2 months ago. And are you familiar with Sean Ryan, podcaster Sean Ryan? Mm-hmm. He had Greer on. Rob, can you pull up that one clip? Because this is the part where it's kind of like, you know.
I think I'm aware of it. I know the one you're going to show.
Yeah, there's a couple of them. I want to show this one here, too. I want to see what you're going to say about it. Go ahead.
Get him, Stephen Greer.
When you're talking about these disinformation agents,
we're getting demonetized for this clip.
Probably. I have somebody that comes to mind, and we were talking about him at lunch. Lou Elizondo. Is he one of them?
Oh, of course. I mean, as soon as he emerged on the stage, I had a very senior guy at CIA who's worked this issue since 1979.
He has all these high-ranking CIA officials feeding him information, but his information is always fake and wrong, so I wouldn't believe that. But it's interesting. See, Greer predates Elizondo by like 20 years. He's been grifting 20 years longer at least, right? So he doesn't like somebody else coming in and trying to be the disclosure guy. That's his grift.
Contact me about that problem. But remember, the only way that you can control at this point all this coming out because of what we have and what we're pushing forward through media is to control the narrative, the spin. So the people coming forward who get an all-access pass on to, say, 60 Minutes or something like that, are people cleared by this same illegal, corrupt organization because they'll...
Yes, Stephen Greer's long argument is that all these back engineering programs are illegal somehow because they don't have congressional oversight. But that has been proven to be false multiple times, at least to my satisfaction.
Tell the public, yes, the UAPs are real, but we don't know what they are. Well, this is an absolute lie. We absolutely know what they are. Some of them are ours, man-made, and are confused quite frequently with the others, which are of extraterrestrial origin, or ETVs, extraterrestrial vehicles. And those operatives are taught very well to take an issue, grab it, capture it, and then spin it in the direction that they want.
Well, it's interesting. Greer is basically trying to totally discredit Lou Elizondo in the UFO community because there's only so much UFO cash to go around. And apparently Greer's getting upset. He's collected millions of dollars on UFOs and aliens over the decades, but somehow another guy coming in and getting a little bit of money is too much for him to handle. So he instantly brands him as a CIA disinformation agent, which for all I know could be true. I don't know.
Now, the direction they want is endless ambiguity.
Grifter
Gee, we
beef.
don't know what they are. We don't know what they are. It's not.
And I got to tell you, friends, this is very rare because the grifters usually don't attack each other because they might have to work at UFO conferences together. But this is kind of a bold thing, right? One grifter calling another grifter a fraud, right? But Lou Elizondo is going to hit him back with the allegations of fraud with his CE5 events. It's glorious.
Nonsense. We've proven what they are. Well, I have 755 whistleblowers.
You have 755 whistleblowers?
Wow, back in 2001, this document says he has 450. Now he has 750.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter how many whistleblowers you have, Greer. How many have evidence? None. They have stories. None of them have any evidence.
I mean, this archive is unbelievable.
You had mentioned that you...
Oh, jeez. 1 second. Let's get past that. Jeez, I really got to start doing better clips. One moment. We'll get past the ad and we'll see what Lou Elizondo has to say. All right, 1 second. Now we got it. Oh, we want to thank Ben Man Vibing for a kind and generous $2. Another one towards the goal. 1 second. Oh, we got another one there. Corey Jeffrey with a kind and generous super sticker per pair character bowing down saying thank you. Kind and generous $10. Very generous of you. One towards the goal. Thank you very much for your kindness. We have Fat Chick Thriller with another one. Seems easier to just pee in the bath. Yeah. Greer's got a different story for how he got superpowers. He didn't need anything. Did you see the Bible dude on Joe Rogan? Maybe Joe is going to get clued up on these clowns now. Yes, we just mentioned that, Dave. I think there's a change in the media landscape. Fat Chick Thriller. We need the alien grifter hell in a cell match. Only one walks out alive. Also, maybe it's you who is the CIA disinformation agent. Bish! Yeah. They keep losing my checks, though, Fat Chick Thriller, but thank you. Another one towards the goal. So let's see what Lou Elizondo's response. He seems to be laughing at this, like he's very amused.
What do you think about what he says? Because
well, where are the whistleblowers? And I'll tell you, isn't he the same guy they wrote an article about, if I'm not mistaken, who apparently was accused of taking people on a tour and then paying some dude to pay, like $500 to drop flares out of a Cessna?
Oh no! You mean when he charges people thousands of dollars to see alien spaceships, they're not really alien spaceships, they're flares? Yeah, we're going to see more evidence and proof of that.
Is that the same guy?
I don't know that.
I think there was an article. We can. I think it was done by the Debrief, I think. Anyways, my mom always told me if I have nothing kind to say, don't say it at all. So I've never met the man, but
they've been beefing for a long time.
It's nonsense. I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, look, where are the whistleblowers? When I went to the IG, and had my conversation.
Yeah, and here's a famous article by Tom Rogan. Did Stephen Greer fake a UFO with flares? He likes to suggest he's in regular contact with extraterrestrials who are visiting Earth. Kindly, if for a price, Greer offers to train others in his close encounters of the fifth kind contact protocols. But is Greer really in contact with unidentified flying objects, or what the military refers to as unidentified aerial phenomenon? I say no.
I didn't see any of them. I know the ones that we talk to. We go to Congress and we talk to Congress. I haven't seen him.
This is the one you're talking about?
That's it.
Likes to suggest that he is a regular contact with extraterrestrials.
And you see this PBD host going, oh no, we hosted a fraud twice who's faking UFOs with flares, and we hosted him twice and did no pushback. And the tuition fee for that event, friends, was $2,500 to $3,500, depending on facility costs. All the ambassadors to the universe trainings are similar.
The person begins to document close encounters of the fifth kind, but is really contact with them. Well, the U.S. military, I'm very confident UFOs are unknowns, not belonging to China, the U.S. or Russia. He said, I'm not convinced that these objects, what Greer seen, tuition fee, some of a week-long tuition for $2,500 or $3,500.
Yeah. So the long and short of it is that Greer for sure, uh, in my opinion, I can't say for sure. Let's get to this as well, because people have really investigated this one event with the flares, and it's 100% clear that what people were viewing for 2,500 to 3,500 was not alien spaceships, but rather flares.
Greer. I mean, that's one I know of because I've dealt with specific cases, namely the one that happened out on the east coast of Florida, where he had his group out there doing CE5s, and charging anywhere between $1,100 $2,500 per person for the week.
No, it's 2,500 to 3,500
weekend. He said it's to get rid of the riffraff, right? So
yeah, if you're going to show everybody aliens, friends, you got to get rid of the cheapos, the riffraff. You got to get the pay pigs in. You want to see them aliens? Do you want to see some aliens? Give me that $3,500 sweet money, and I'll show you some aliens. P18 with one for the goal. Kind of generous $5 says, praise the cash, Stephen. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. Arlene Atkins says, weren't Greer and Elizondo at the same UFO conference a couple of years ago? Yeah. And that's why Greer is like, hey, man, this guy's stealing my disclosure dollars. So he doesn't like it.
We proved through tracking data that there was a Beechcraft aircraft 75 that was under cruising speed that was shooting flares out of it. We have pictures of it doing it.
So this researcher proved 100% that during this event, there was a Beechcraft aircraft in the sky right in front of these people where the video was taken. He proved it with flight tracking radar. And it slowed down the cruising speed so it could throw flares out the canopy.
A video of it. There were people on the beach filming it. We proved it through tracking data and got stonewalled by the company that owned the airplane that got hired to do that.
Okay. So somebody got hired to drop flares right at the exact date and time and location where Greer was trying to summon aliens with his superpowers. And then not only this researcher, but I myself and several other researchers, we all went to the company that owned the aircraft to try to find out, did Stephen Greer hire you to drop flares? And they went completely cricket silence. I was told that our client base and, our client, whoever hires us, is completely confidential, and we're not under legal obligation to share that with you. But this gets into a point of actual criminal activity. If, for example, Stephen Greer actually did allegedly hire an airplane to drop flares while he's charging people $2,500 to $3,500 to see alien spaceships in the very same area, I would consider that an act of criminal fraud. But I'm not a law enforcement officer. I'm not a police officer, so I don't know.
I can't say that they did that on purpose, but I can tell you that the object...
It's just a coincidence that an airplane got hired at the exact date, location, and geographic location, same time, same beach, to fly right over this group of people paying $2,500 to $3,500 and drop flares. It's just a coincidence.
They claimed we're the golden ones, as in his own words.
Yeah, the golden one aliens, spaceships,
were flares shot from the open, canopy of that aircraft. The reason why that guy slowed down to cruising speed was so he can open that door. And which is a violation of FAA regulations. He's not allowed to do that.
Yeah.
Can't shoot an incendiary out of your airplane, even if it's over the Atlantic Ocean.
So apparently it's illegal to just throw flares out of an airplane at cruising speed, even if you're over the ocean. This means that the company hired could have some legal problems from this if the government actually cared enough to prosecute.
If they really wanted to know that case, I didn't take it that far, but if you wanted to, you could take it to the prosecutor's office at that time, and they could have been prosecuted for that because the evidence was there. Okay. There was video of them doing.
And the government could have forced that airplane company to acknowledge or admit if Dr. Stephen Greer actually hired them to drop these flares.
It.
And I, for one, think that they should.
Everything that was pointing to a motive. And then if that investigator wanted to take it further, could have gone and started talking to the people that were in charge of that event. See who got hired by who, because there was a crime committed. Now, I'm not saying that Greer's organization is committing fraud.
Okay? I'm not saying it's fraud, but it's allegedly fraud. Yeah.
But there is clear motivation for somebody to commit fraud in a situation like that are misinforming people.
Well, yeah, look, if you're going to charge people $3,500 to see the aliens, you better show them something, even if it's just flares. If you're going to charge $3,500, you got to show them some aliens. Thank you, James 4488 with another one for the goal, and thank you, Billy Blister with another one for the goal. If you want to see these aliens, you better pay, bitch. Yes, you have to pay to see the aliens. Sandra McDonald. Don't forget to show the audience Greed's camel toe. Oh, I forgot all about that, but thank you. Another one towards the goal. $5, £5 from Nemesis Bex. Another one towards the goal. Thank you, Nemesis Bex. Good to see you here on P18 with another one towards the goal. Ah, yes, the pilot purchaser confidentiality clause. Jeebus, these people. Yeah, it's so stupid, right? Fat Chick Thriller. It's not fraud, but yeah, it's not fraud, but yeah.
There was a few people that were there that's why I got involved, because they told me about it.
Yeah.
And they were
some of the people that paid big money knew that they were looking at flares and they wanted somebody to bust this clown.
Concerned because they didn't think it was a real event. They were like, this seemed a little weird, especially when Greer started telling people to turn their IRs off.
Yeah, don't use an IR camera because you might see the airplane that's dropping these flares in the twilight sky.
And don't use infrared.
Don't use infrared. There could be only one reason for that, friends, because he knew it was fake. And what are you going to do, right? So I have a lot more to share with you. Let's take a moment to check in on the goal. We have 21 of 50 towards the goal. We're almost halfway there. So one of the best resources. Oh, and by the way, I want to take a moment to welcome back and thank Simon Fly. For those unaware, for a long time, we would start almost every show and end every show with these incredible music videos of the UFO grifters made by Simon Fly. But Simon Fly has been busy and not making new ones. We play some of the older ones, but he's back to making new ones, and I want to thank him. You can visit his YouTube channel. It's just Simon Fly, SIMON space FLY on YouTube. All of his UFO grifter music videos are there. He's created an entire new art form, UFO grifter music videos, and I, for one, am here for it, right? So one of the other incredible resources that you can use when determining if somebody is full of shit or not, one of the best resources, really, but it's so old school though, is that there was a website, there still is, called UFOwatchdog.com. And Royce Myers III is the person who ran that website. And back in the day, before everything went YouTube, he had this website, and you could go there and get the truth about the grifters. So this is from UFOwatchdog.com. We're citing fair use, sharing this. Reportedly plagiarizes the UFO work of others and sells it as his own. Sells do-it-yourself ET contact kits. Pardon me. Now you too can steer in extraterrestrial spacecraft with a flashlight and never record them, just like Dr. Greer does. Made claims of contacting extraterrestrials through meditation. Claimed the U.S. military forces attacked a Colorado ET base inside a mountain using nerve gas. No evidence to back up that claim. Had dinner with the CIA director and spun the tale of having briefed the CIA director about ETs for hours. Turns out that CIA director James Woolsey uh, emphatically denied that he got a briefing about aliens. He was at some social event and Greer got seated with him, and Greer bent his ear about aliens and UFOs. It wasn't a briefing. Hosted a press conference with credible UFO witnesses on Capitol Hill, ruined it and his own credibility by selling the work of others with his name on it and using bogus witnesses. Allegedly attempted to charge Washington State MUFON members $2,300 each to demonstrate how he can vector in UFOs. Greer got to choose the location and time. And here is from Seth Shostak. Well, I've known him and occasionally debated him on radio for years, and he's always been bonkers. 2 weeks after he claimed he had a secret detection, he was telling radio audiences that when Neil Armstrong stepped on the moon in 1969, he was surrounded by alien spacecraft. This article goes on to state Greer is probably most famous for his disclosure project. His famous press conference, available on his site in the summer of 2001, brought many witnesses before the microphone to ask for congressional hearings on the subject. Unfortunately, he brought forth some serious loonies as well, which had the effect of casting doubt on the credible witnesses. Greer is solidly in the exopolitics camp, which has failed to dislodge one shred of evidence of alien visitation. For a time, Greer's website sported the creature on the left, claiming that it had been photographed during one of Greer's midnight UFO vectoring sessions, along with various entities looking suspiciously like lens reflections. Affectionately dubbed Mothra by Greer's detractors, this picture and others like it were removed to howls of laughter. So he's charging people $800 to see extraterrestrials. And he claims that the picture on the left is a light being loved one. But it turns out it's a common woodland moth, and the viewing fee for that is free. But hey, if you're going to show people aliens, you got to show them something. So, not to be outdone, says UFO watchdog, Greer also claims he has developed a zero-point energy device that could be held in one hand and is capable of powering small cities. His website to this venture is Advanced Research Organization, ARROW, before there was ARROW, which claims to have such technologies have been brutally suppressed by big oil, nasty government, and associated villains. It's supposed to be available real soon now, any day. And for those unaware, Greer claimed that he would produce a free energy device, and he collected $500,000 for that. And I'm here to tell you, he never delivered anything. Then he waited a decade or so after. Remember, he collected $500,000, claiming that he was going to. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even realize I didn't have that shared, so I apologize. So he collected. Let's show you that alien again. Oh, it's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. So he shows everybody a moth that he's charging $800 viewing fee for. And for those unaware, Greer has collected, to the best of my knowledge, about $1 million grifting off of free energy. He claimed first that he was going to open source and release a free energy device, and he collected $500,000 to do that with something called the Orion Project. Then he failed to deliver anything. He waited a bunch of years until the stupid people forgot that he had already grifted $500,000. And then he grifted another $500,000 just to make a documentary about free energy, which he did deliver, but it didn't cost $500,000 to make that documentary. In my opinion, what do I know? I'm just a video editor, right? Well, thanks some kind and generous people like P18. Imagine trying to eat your dinner and some wackadoo fraud trying to sell you on their alien grift. Yes, but thank you, P18. One for the goal. Chat smells pretty broke. Let's go. Let's get some donos. Could you stop insulting my audience? They're not broke. They're just, hey, listen, it's tough out there, Fat Chick Thriller. Another one from Fat Chick Thriller. Why does every grifter do the free energy grift? Well, look, he collected $500,000 and delivered exactly nothing. So I can't say that I blame him, right? So, look, Greer has had just an incredible amount of garbage. Um, in the meantime, before he came out with his free energy device, he wanted people to invest in the technology, which can make you insanely rich. Just asked after 10 years, and it's Greer with his Orion project and its predecessors have not generated 1 single watt of electricity. But Greer has held one of these devices in his hand, just as he has held the alien baby in his arms. And there's more articles here, which you could go through. He sells the truth for $600. Greer, ufology's own worst enemy. See SETI and a refutation of Greer's claims of having busted the CIA. Let's see what the see SETI section is. It going to work? I don't know. Oh no, it just links to his website. Yes, and by the way, Greer is now claiming that full-on alien disclosure will take place by the end of this month, and he's claiming that a character assassination campaign will soon be launched. And apparently, people are accusing me of being a CIA member, and I'm here to assassinate his. Listen, Greer, your own history assassinates your credibility. I don't need to do it. You're such a grifter, clown. So he's claiming that alien disclosure is going to come by the end of January. That's his, and he always does this just like David Wilcock. He overpromises, he makes big, bold predictions, and then nothing happens. And he just goes away for a little while and comes back with new bull. So we're going to be going into some other things today. So, but let's continue with UFO Watchdogs material, because I find it, even though it's older, it's still, it's very, very important, because the documented history of the grifting is what's important. Sometimes this stuff disappears from the internet and we kind of lose it, what's going on here? Oh, wrong one. Okay, here we go. So you may be aware of this thing, which was claimed by Greer to be an alien. It wasn't. So this former medical doctor is apparently doesn't know the difference between a deformed human fetus and an alien. Let's go all the way up here. Alleged alien body is human. So after making millions of dollars on a documentary, they couldn't somehow get the DNA results done in time to put it in the documentary, which is very convenient, because that film's whole hype was, look, they got this Atacama humanoid alien baby, which turned out to be a deformed human fetus. In case you missed the news, the Atacama body, promoted by UFO quack Stephen Greer as being an alien being, turned out to be 100% human. This conclusion was reached after 5 years of scientific work from a variety of experts, including Dr. Gary Nolan, which is surprising because Gary Nolan's a super grifter, but to his credit, he did find out that that was just human. That started a beef between them two. And of course, Greer is saying that the CIA paid off Gary Nolan to say that it wasn't an alien. But science isn't enough to quell the conspiratorial ramblings of Stephen Greer, even though he chose the scientist himself. And not for nothing, but Dr. Gary Nolan is an immunologist. He's not a geneticist, so that's not the right expert. But UFO Watchdog goes on to write, this reminds one of Linda Moulton Howe quickly dismissing the very terrestrial findings of scientists chose to examine a bogus case she was promoting. Greer promoted the Atacama being as being extraterrestrial and wove quite a tale around how the body was found and came into his possession. Greer held a crowdfunding campaign and raised quite a bit of money to make a film entitled Sirius. He raised, I believe, to the best of my knowledge, $1.5 million to make that film. And that film was about the Atacama body. While the film went on to promote the alien origin of the body, scientific examination, which, by the way, came after the film was released, has proved otherwise. Does Greer concede to the scientific proof and move on? Nope. Greer, in a video below, now claims the results of the study of the Atacama body were manipulated by the CIA. Of course, Greer has no proof of this and went as far as to throw Dr. Gary Nolan and others involved under the bus in an attempt to paint them as incompetent puppets of an evil government. Greer has yet Greer has to have the conspiracy in all he does. Otherwise, he has no way to promote himself or his wacky claims. Truth does not serve Greer's interests. There are enough idiots out there who are more satisfied with other idiots selling them on conspiracies because the truth simply isn't enough. Just take a look at the comments section of the video on YouTube and you'll quickly see how easy it is to sell extraterrestrial bullshit to people. By the way, he's since taken that video down. Greer says in the video the majority of the population doesn't trust the media. Well, at least Greer has something in common with the media. The sad truth here is that Greer's stunt backfired, and this is all about damage control and keeping the faithful on the hook, cooking up another conspiracy. But the story doesn't end with Greer's babbling nonsense. It looks like the Chilean government is investigating if the body was illegally exhumed. So this is funny. The grifters are willing to essentially use a dead baby. And when you get into like how grifty this gets, like if you're willing to use a dead deformed baby to grift for UFO dollars, then you're a scumbag. I mean, you're just a scumbag. They carted a dead human baby around and promoted it as an alien in order to make money. Mr. Rock, with a kind and generous 20 pounds, says, "Let's go aliens, etc." Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Fat Chick Thriller says, "Halfway to the goal. God bless the goal and praise the cash." Yes, Fat Chick Thriller. That means we got half. We need to get the other half. So we're going to need some dono bombs because I'm running out of good material and we're going to be getting into the slop soon. So as I was saying, it's really ridiculous that people are willing to use a dead baby. And this is not the first time that somebody has used a dead baby. Would you be surprised to learn that there's been at least 4 or 5 dead babies that were used in alien scams? There's the Star Child skull, deformed human baby. There is this Atacama humanoid, deformed human baby. Then there is the Mexican or South American mummy aliens. Those were made by gluing together ripped apart dead babies and ripped apart human bodies and gluing them back together. They'll put an arm as a or they'll put a leg as an arm, whatever they have to do to make it look like it's an alien. Even using animal skulls instead of human skulls that were shaved down to look like a gray alien. So, I guess there is a level at which I say you're a scumbag. And if you're using dead human babies to grift on fake aliens, then you are a scumbag. There's no other way to put it. Fat Chick Thriller says, "For the slop fund." Well, thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Now, so what we have here is a long and ridiculous history of Stephen Greer getting caught faking things for a lot of money. I mean, you got to give it to him. He's made millions of dollars telling people he could summon spaceships, and then he shows them flares. Well, he's made millions of dollars in total on the alien grift. Then he made millions of dollars off this Atacama humanoid, which was just a deformed human baby. And he's collected millions of dollars in crowdfunding. He collected $1 million for free energy and only delivered a shitty film. It's absolutely ridiculous. But one of my favorite things is that sometimes it's not about a big gotcha moment with him. Sometimes he debunks himself because his claims are so stupid. And my favorite of all of his stupid, wacky claims, wackadoo claims, my favorite of all of them is the porta potty secret base. This clown showed illustrations of a huge underground base where they back engineer aliens. But I guess they don't got no bathrooms in the underground base. So they put all these porta potties on the surface. And hundreds of people come to work there every day and just park their cars right outside with the porta potties. It's my favorite, friends. So this is the good material. Don't worry, Fat Chick Thriller. We're going to get to the slop, but we still have some good actual material to get through. This is my favorite Stephen Greer ridiculous claim because even the most... Look, I get it if you want to believe in aliens and UFOs and back engineering alien technology, but some of these people are so stupid would the government really build a secret base and put a line of like 100 porta potties outside? Like, can't they shit in a regular bathroom? They got to use a porta potty while they're trying to back engineer aliens. It's just so stupid, friends. But it is one of my favorite stories. It's one of my favorite stories, and it's a comedic parody that we made about it. It's one of my favorite Stephen Greer stupid stories. We're going to include it. And the purpose of tonight's broadcast is to try to give people an overview of the fakery, fraudery, deceit, and manipulative tactics over sensationalism, fake whistleblowers, fake alien contact events, fake alien babies. We want to give you an overview, and no overview of Dr. Stephen Greer's ridiculous nonsense would be complete without exploring the porta potty secret base. So let's get into it, friends.
He also was read into and had the chief scientist show him the location, which
This is another thing. There's these illustrations in this thing, and you see that thing in the background? I think those are porta potties. I'm not sure, but I think they're porta potties. And according to these illustrations, there's these secret underground bases that are big enough for like hundreds of people to work in. And apparently they're so secret that the government just lets everybody park their car right outside the secret base. And listen, if you got to take a dump, there's porta potties. There's porta potties outside the secret underground bases. So if you got to, listen, sometimes maybe you just got to, you're driving to work, you got to take a big dump. And maybe they don't have bathrooms in the underground secret alien bases where they're working on the alien spacecraft. They have such technology that they can back engineer alien spacecraft, but they can't figure out how to put a bathroom in that bitch underground. Instead, they got porta potties all along the back row. And this base is ultra top secret. It is housing the most secret things on planet Earth. The greatest secrets of the United States shadow cabal, black budget government, the deep state. It's the most secret base of the deep state. But we're going to put a row of like all these porta potties out there, and we're just going to let everybody park their cars right outside where you go into the secret base. And listen, they would not do that. There's Russian satellites that would pick this up in a minute. In a minute! There's Chinese satellites that would pick this up in a minute. You don't put an underground base somewhere and then just let hundreds of people come to work and park right outside in a row and then put porta potties in case people have to take a shit. Oh my God, this is so stupid. What am I doing here?
we now have of a
sorry.
underground military
This
base
is serious
that
stuff.
is in the Dugway sector, so-called Avery sector, Avery.
All right, and that's another thing. He said it's in the Dugway Proving Grounds, so we can look on satellite maps. And as ridiculous as it sounds, I went looking for big rows of cars and porta potties out by the Dugway Proving Grounds, and I couldn't find anything. I couldn't find shit. So is this fake? Well, this is another anonymous source. And if you look at the logic and the ridiculousness of this whole thing, I think you might agree that this is probably a tall tale. And by the way, there's more illustrations with the porta potties and the cars, I think.
Has huge capacity for parking. You go in, and there's a vast underground complex in that location. That location has been handed off to investigators.
And here's the thing. If there's huge capacity for parking, why is everybody parking their car on the surface then? This makes no sense. This is a total contradiction.
With the U.S. government. Next. This gives an illustration of the size of this. You could put easily on the platform that goes down the Air Force One. It's a very large elevator goes down.
I told you. Okay, so this location has been handed off, according to Greer, with investigators with the U.S. government. Which investigators? Which department is investigating this? Can we have their names? Oh, of course not. But what we can get is, see, there's the entrance to the underground base. Looks like a little shed there next to the porta shitters. I'm sorry, I can't get over the porta potties. Why would you just have a parking lot outside a deep underground military base where everybody can park and shit? Like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm sorry. There are underground bases, but they don't look like this on the surface. The point of an underground base is two things. Usually bunkers to prevent like a nuclear, anything nuclear from reaching them, or to provide secrecy to work on things, I would think. It kind of blows the secrecy thing out when you got, 25 porta potties and 100 or 150 cars out there. And this makes no sense. Why would people not? You got enough space under there for the Air Force One and helicopters and a train, but you don't got enough space for people to park?
Nice.
And you don't got bathrooms? Why don't they got bathrooms in a deep underground base? You're like, listen, this is so stupid and so ridiculous, right? Like, imagine the scientists that work there. Like, listen, I would like to keep trying to back engineer this alien spacecraft, but I really got to take a shit, so I got to go up top. I got to go topside and use the porta potty. I got to go topside and take a shit before I can continue to back engineer this alien spacecraft. This is so stupid. And as stupid as this is, imagine the idiots that helped hype this, that helped this man take money from people for this level of stupidity, this level of illogical, childish, nonsensical stories that don't make sense. And there we have it. One of my favorite stories from Dr. Stephen Greer. It's just so stupid. Another one for the goal from Mr. Rock. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. There's Stormcrow, longtime show supporter. My favorite was the ZZ Top regrown leg story. Yeah, that's another one of my favorites. Dr. Stephen Greer said that he went to a secret underground base with Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top fame, where they saw secret alien technology that could regrow limbs. Yeah, and I was going to include that, but it's hard to collate that for tonight's broadcast. Mr. Rock, with a kind and generous £2, says, and thank you, Stormcrow, longtime show supporter. And Mr. Rock, with a kind and generous £2, I want to believe, but because of them, I can't. Fat Chick Thriller says, unidentified alien porta potties. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Fat Chick Thriller, with the dono bombs tonight. The instruments are poo sensitive. Duh. Yeah, so they got to have special facilities. Don't touch me, I'm crazy, says you go into the PP and the floor is an elevator. That takes you down to the base. The Russians think Americans park their cars and take 8-hour desert dumps. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for your kindness. And Lime Amoeba says those aren't bathrooms. That is the TARDIS yard. A likely story. And another one for the goal from Mr. Rock. Thank you, Lime Amoeba, for your kindness, generosity, and support. And one towards the goal. And Mr. Rock, with another one, £2, says they'd sooner tell them to do it in the bushes. Yes. And Thirsty Tree with one for the goal. Good evening, Steve, and praise the cash. We're praising it tonight. We're going to check in with the goal. Stormcrow with another one for the goal. Thank you, longtime show supporter Stormcrow, who's a big fan of Dr. Stephen Greer, I think. All right, 36 towards the goal. So we have 14 more to go to get to the goal. Thank you all for your kindness, generosity, and support. I have some great stuff to share with you. One of the other people that I thought did an incredible job, and he gets very little credit, which is unfortunate, but there's a content creator on YouTube called Lion's Ground, who was instrumental in debunking third phase of moon and Dr. Stephen Greer. So he has some incredible videos. I've added them to the description of this video or podcast. And we're going to share them tonight, and I'll offer some commentary as well. So this guy makes great videos, and he has found some of the same information that I have found when digging into Stephen Greer. But that guy's an incredible video producer and makes much more professional and better videos than me. So I thought we would share them tonight. So the first video from him for tonight is titled Dr. Stephen Greer, UFO Disclosure or Liar. Let's get into it.
Stephen Greer. He claims to have been in contact with extraterrestrials and UFOs and has released several books about his experiences, even documentaries. Many people believe him, but others think he's just making it all up to make money off of gullible people.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you think Dr. Greer is telling the truth, or is he just trying to make money off of people who are gullible enough to believe him? Keep watching till the
with
end.
Another one for the goal says can't stand Greer. Yeah,
This is
a lot of people
Astral
don't like
Citizens,
him.
brought to you by Heathcliff Spencer Peters.
Dr. Stephen Greer claims to have a way to come in contact with extraterrestrials for years and made an app for your phone to do so. He has released several books about his experiences and documentaries about UFO. Many people believe him, but others think he's
so
just making it all up to make money off of gullible people. Do you think Dr. Greer is telling the truth, or is he just trying to make money off of people who are gullible enough to believe him? If you believe in UFOs, you will be interested in this video because it tells you if Dr. Stephen Greer is a liar or not.
That is resonating within every single human being, because that's the foundation for the relationship between humans and these civilizations.
We're all going to see the aliens.
Greer is known for his dramatic claims about UFOs and aliens. He claims that he has seen them with his own eyes on multiple occasions.
Yeah, he can
But he
summon aliens
insists
with a superpower.
that they are real objects, and not hallucinations or hoaxes. You are who you hang out with. Dr. Stephen Greer's documentary about UFOs called Above Top Secret was released in March 2022.
We need those pay-pigs.
And it caused quite a stir. The documentary features Dr. Stephen Greer and a few others, and is directed by Blake and Brent from the YouTube channel Third Face of Moon.
Yes.
In my
Talented
video,
trolls.
debunking
Yes.
random internet UFO videos and debunking latest UFO videos from Third Face of Moon, I investigated the latest UFO cases featured by Third Face of Moon, and I concluded they're misleading at the best and completely fake at worst.
Because he's like me.
Oh yeah, and he even used me in this video. It's interesting that the people who make Dr. Greer's documentaries of late are Blake and Brent Cousins, and they are completely and totally, they get caught all the time pushing completely and totally fake UFOs.
a one-man army, apparently, and he's telling people the truth. He's a good investigator,
Oh, here
good
I'm talking about
researcher.
Heathcliff. He's
You know,
great.
we get told there's this whole narrative that Third Phase generated, like, well, now we've got real professional UFO investigators and researchers working on our team. Then why do you keep putting out garbage if there's 5 of you?
Yeah, and that's interesting. Third Phase of Moon has an entire team of UFO investigators, but they keep getting caught putting out videos of completely fake UFOs.
Why do you keep putting out obvious garbage, fake shit?
The trailer for the documentary Above Top Secret is one of the most exciting things I've seen in a long time. It's not just that it's an excellent trailer, it's that it's so fake. Less than 5 seconds into the trailer,
Nothing says I'm a fraud like putting completely and totally easily debunkable fake UFO videos in the trailer for your UFOs are real documentary.
I identified a hoax. This is made with the phone app called UFO Video Camera, developed by Outer Spacious Software.
Yeah, so big budget, they're using a phone app to make fake UFOs, which basically you take a video on your phone of like a background scene, like some mountains or something, and this UFO app will put a UFO in the sky and make a fake UFO video. So if he has real evidence of UFOs and aliens visiting Earth, Why would he need to use a phone app to put UFO videos in his trailer for his documentary?
You make a video with your phone and the app adds the UFO. It's like magic. The phrase, "you are who you hang out with," means that you take on the characteristics of the people you spend a lot of time with.
Yeah, and Greer is spending a lot of time with UFO hoaxers, so that should inform you of his level of integrity. Nobody serious would spend time with people that have been caught hundreds of times faking UFOs for money.
It also means that if you spend time with people who are motivated liars, then those qualities will rub off on you. It's a saying that means that you are the average of the people you hang out with. Every partner, supporter and ally of Third Phase of Moon has that same trait. Liar.
Do you think he's a liar?
The alien.
Alien app.
Dr.
Yeah.
Stephen Greer claims to have captured an alien ambassador from the Andromeda galaxy in a photo.
Oh, it's going to get
But
good.
it turns out that the alien photo from Stephen Greer is a hoax.
Yeah, so this is supposed to be an alien photo of Bijou, an alien interdimensional being that Stephen Greer claims that he summoned during one of his CE5 events. And what you need to know is we've already seen evidence that Dr. Stephen Greer charges people $2,500 to $3,500 to see alien spaceships and maybe even alien beings when he does these meditation sessions. This is one example. Look, it's an alien off in the distance. We're going to see what it really is, and it is hysterical.
It turns out to be the branch of the Joshua tree. False alibis. Dr. Greer
Yeah, he's showing people a Joshua tree off in the distance and claiming it's an alien.
loves to name names to create a false alibi. He has involved once 3 men to push through his own agenda, namely CIA Director James Woolsey, Edgar Mitchell, the 6 astronauts who walk on the moon, and Daniel Sheehan, a lawyer who has worked with several high-profile whistleblowers.
Yeah, but 2 of the 3 of these people have all disputed Greer's claims. 2 of the 3. The astronaut and the CIA director basically said that Dr. Stephen Greer is full of it.
With several high-profile whistleblowers. All 3 have officially responded and even addressed Stephen Greer he is not speaking truthfully.
Yeah, when you got to write a letter to tell people that Stephen Greer is a liar, that's pretty bad.
They contradict his claims or any involvement with Greer. They all confirm that Greer is pure
None of this is accurate. That's from James Woolsey.
disinformation.
Pure disinformation. That's what he's pushing, friends. He doesn't have
The conclusion.
truth. He's got fake
Dr. Stephen Greer is a fraud. The evidence against him is overwhelming, and he has been caught lying on numerous occasions. He surrounds himself with hoaxes such as Third Phase of Moon, who was part of the documentary Above Top Secret. Dr. Stephen Greer has also been caught falsifying evidence of UFOs and extraterrestrial life, such as the fake alien photo, which is a photo of a tree, and birds in V formation as a triangular UFO.
Yeah, he once claimed that birds flying in a triangle formation was a TR-3B. So, you have to ask yourself, like, how many times can the grifter guy get caught grifting fake alien videos and fake aliens and fake UFOs before you say everything this guy is doing is fake?
Dr. Stephen Greer has been caught lying. In the video Stephen Greer CE5 UFO sighting Vero Beach, Florida,
Oh, here we're going to see the flares again.
February 2015, Stephen Greer tells people to turn off the night vision.
Please turn off your night scope, Charles.
Yeah, there's a reason he's telling people to turn off the night scope. He doesn't want anybody to see the airplane dropping these flares.
Off.
But in the video description, he declares that the video was recorded in night vision. A huge contradiction. It appears that Dr. Stephen Greer has created a false alibi by involving people in his lies, while the people contradict or deny any involvement. He also used video material without permission, such as this video. I spoke to the original copyright owner of the video and he never gave permission to Stephen Greer.
Yeah, so there's been various claims that he plagiarizes material and just claims it as his own. And there's proof of that.
It in his documentary. The creator never saw any money from Dr. Stephen
Well,
Greer,
I'm sure that Greer saw some money from this video he didn't own or have the rights to use, though.
using it in his presentation in his documentary. But Dr. Stephen Greer has enjoyed financially from this video.
Absolutely.
Dr. Stephen Greer teaches people through his app to connect with aliens. But in reality, he teaches people how to lucid dream through meditation. And this is scientific confirmed. Lucid dreaming is a state of
so his
consciousness
app is
in
just
which you
lucid
are
dreaming
aware
or
that you are
self-hypnosis.
dreaming. By realizing that you are dreaming, you can take control of your dreams and sometimes even shape them as you wish. You may have experienced a lucid dream without realizing it. In fact, many people have had them without knowing it. It was possible to induce them on purpose through meditation.
Yeah. So Greer's claims of being able to, contact aliens or alien spaceship is basically a form of self-hypnosis. And he stole most of the so-called protocols directly from transcendental meditation, which he happened to be an instructor for transcendental meditation before he was an alien grifter.
And lucid dreaming allows you to experience the world in ways that would otherwise be impossible. You can fly or move objects with your mind. You can meet famous people or visit distant places. You can even visit other planets. And in this case, meet aliens, which happened to the artist Demi Lovato.
Consciousness leaves your body, and you can travel to different places in the present, future, past,
sounds like remote
or
Demi
you
Lovato's
can
got
travel to
superpowers.
different planets. Like you can go travel, but you basically, it's when you have like an out of body experience.
Yeah. So not only does Dr. Stephen Greer claim that he has superpowers, but he's teaching celebrities how to have superpowers so that they can help promote his $10 app.
And the night that I asked that orb to come back and hang out with me in my dreams, I fully astral projected that night in my sleep. And I wouldn't, I had this experience where like all of a sudden I was like, sounds so wild.
No, I know.
I don't even know if I want to say this.
I'm so here for it.
Yeah, well, it just was like, I had this experience where I was like, come back, let's hang out in my dreams. And then I was in...
This was published originally November 19th, way before she met Dr. Stephen Greer. She was lucid dreaming.
My room that night, and these beings, which I don't remember what they looked like, they were just like, do you want to come back to our planet? And I'm like, hell yeah. So I'm sucked out of my room and I'm floating over the planet, and I wasn't in like a ship or anything, but I'm just like hovering in like deep space and was just like, whoa. And they're like, you want to come see? And I was like, hell yeah. So then I fly to this pink and purple planet that looked like Dr. Seuss, very Dr. Seuss-like. And then I woke up and that's all I remember. And so,
And this proves that she has no idea what she's talking about.
No idea whatsoever.
Astral projection is not the same as lucid dreaming. I find Dr. Stephen Greer guilty on all counts of fraud, deception, copyright infringement, and financial exploitation of others. And that's my verdict.
All right. Yeah, so Astral Citizens, also known as Lions Ground or Heathcliff, finds him guilty of all those things, and his opinions are his own. I'm not making accusations, but other people have.
If you could ask Stephen Greer one question, what would it be? Comment below.
Astral Citizens is home to unbiased and...
It's Lions Ground now. So we've got another one to share. But before we do that, let's check in with the live chat. We're almost to the goal. Dono of Spite. Can we get it? Let's get that goal. Thank you. Another one for the goal. Dono of Spite. And we have clone as Steve Dreamkiller. Suffer Greer? Suffer Wilcock or Wilcock? That is the question, bish. That is the question. Yes. So we've got another great video from Heathcliff. Can we hit it? Well, I'm going to check in with the goal in a minute, but thank you, Mr. Rock, for another £2, and another one for the goal from Fat Chick Thriller. God bless the goal, praise the cash. Absolutely. Thank you for your kindness, generosity, and support. Mr. Rock with another one. Aliens, kindness, and generosity. Let's go. And another one from P18 for $5. 4 more. Let's effing go, chat. Yes. Yes, we are almost there. We've got Dawn Wandener with kind and generous $2 says busted. Yes. And I'm going to check in with the goal. 3 more to go. 3 more super chats of $2 or greater, and we actually hit our goal. I'm very happy that every time we put up a goal, we've been hitting it. So we're 3 away. I've still got this great video to share and talk about. And then we'll probably get into some slop. So you pay piggies who want the slop. There's just 3 more to get to the overtime, and we'll do the slop video. Maybe we should also do a Stephen Greer interview at half speed so we could see if he sounds more believable drunk, kind of like we did with Wilcock, right? Yes. Let's get 3 more, friends. Let's go. Let's get some super chats and get to the goal. Me Too says, I love that Demi Lovato's aliens act like California Valley girls. Yeah, totally believable, right? Zoom in on Greer's camel toe. Says, Como Lonzo, no thank you. P18 says, yum, yum, slop. Mr. Rock says, no, we need more. I've got yummy, yummy slop for Fat Chick Thriller. We're going to get to the slop, don't worry. But first, we have a great video. And by the way, go over and subscribe to Lion's Ground. Just put Lion's Ground in the YouTube search bar, or go over there. In the description of our video or podcast is the 2 links to these 2 videos that we are sharing. Haven't checked in with him in some time. We're going to see if we can get him here and talk about all this, get an interview. This video is titled, Are Stephen Greer's UFO Claims Credible? Dono of Spite, I'm the 48th Dono. Who is going to be the 49th? Thank you for another one towards the goal, Dono of Spite. We just need 2 more. We just need 2 more to hit the goal for tonight. I'm hopeful we're going to get there. So let's get into this one, friends.
Yeah, with another hard-hitting video. And today we're diving into the world of UFOs and extraterrestrial claims, specifically focusing on Dr. Stephen Greer. Everything you know about Stephen Greer's claims is wrong, and here's why. Stephen Greer is a big name in the UFO world, and he's made some bold claims, but how much of what he says is actually true? Therefore, it's essentially to critically examine his statements and separate facts from fiction. Shout out to my viewer, Yeah-Right666 from New Zealand, who inspired me to do this.
So this is the point I was making. Dr. Stephen Greer claims that he briefed every sitting U.S. president since Ronald Reagan. And the only evidence of that is that he sent a letter to the Clinton White House at the time that Clinton was in office.
This video about queer, smear, beer, god damn it, I meant Greer.
This is Lion's Ground.
One of the boldest claims Greer makes is that he personally briefed President Clinton about UFOs. And it sounds impressive, but documents from the Clinton Presidential Library tell a different story. These records show that Greer only sent letters.
Thank you, another one to the goal.
Yeah, he only sent letters and position papers, with no evidence of an in-person briefing. And therefore...
Yeah, so he just sent letters to the White House, and then he's going to say on radio, television shows, and podcasts that he briefed President Clinton. I'm sorry, but sending a letter to the White House is not the same thing as sitting down with a president and giving him a briefing.
Saying he briefed Clinton is misleading. It's more like me writing a letter to the King of the Netherlands and claiming that I had a meeting with the King.
In 1993, when Bill Clinton got elected, I was asked to fly up to Washington to brief the administration and his first director of the CIA.
So there he is directly saying that he briefed President Clinton and his CIA director. And all he did was send a letter. What Greer doesn't know is that presidents are very concerned with their legacy. So every minute of the president's day is logged for their eventual presidential library. Had he actually sat down with the president and had a meeting with him, there would be evidence of that in the Clinton Presidential Library. I had the archivist there do an exhaustive search, and all they found was a letter that he sent to the White House. And I asked the archivist, did Clinton even read that? And he said, well, people send thousands of letters to the White House, so likely no. But here he is claiming that they got the letter and then they were so excited they asked him to fly to Washington and brief the president. That is a completely and totally fake, fraudulent statement. Okay.
FedEx I got from my contact to him, setting it up, said, you're going to be the first person to brief the director of the CIA and this administration on this.
In his documentary Unacknowledged, Greer quotes Victor Marchetti, a former CIA officer.
Yeah, and he also misquotes some famous people and government employees as saying things that align with his agenda, I would say.
As definitely stating that extraterrestrial beings have contacted Earth and the US government is keeping this information from the public. And it seems convincing.
We have indeed been contacted, perhaps even visited, by extraterrestrial beings.
Seems convincing.
And the US government, in collusion with the other national powers of the Earth, is determined to keep this information from the general public.
But Marchetti's original quote was speculative.
No, I was in a 1979 magazine called Second Look with the title, How the CIA Views the UFO Phenomenon. My theory.
So he cherry picks data to support his arguments. That's the point.
Theory is that we have indeed been contacted, perhaps even visited, by extraterrestrial beings, and that the U.S. government, in collusion with other national powers of the Earth, is determined to keep this information from the general public.
My theory, I repeat,
theory.
My theory.
So he has a theory.
He didn't say therefore, Greer's version misleads the audience into believing there is more certainty than there actually is.
Hey kid, what are you drawing?
Leave me alone, you freak!
Are you drawing a UFO abducting Clinton?
No.
Are you drawing an alien in a desert?
No, Daddy.
Are you drawing Demi Lovato in a sexy alien beach outfit?
Demi who? No, something very cool.
Tell me, buddy, what are you drawing?
I drawed a picture of you with a vagina.
Son of a bitch.
Greer also claims that Carl Sagan initially believed in UFOs and extraterrestrial contact, but was silenced by threats from the intelligence community.
Again, false claims, and he loves making claims about dead people, like claiming a dead person said things to him, because nobody can prove or disprove that.
Yeah, that is what Greer claims.
Who are people like Carl Sagan? And before him, Professor Donald Menzel. It turns out that Sagan, in his early career, actually spoke and wrote about UFOs in a way that was affirmative, that it was legitimate. After he was threatened by the intelligence community and blackmailed,
there's no proof
he then began to debunk the issue.
And this adds drama to his narrative.
1966.
But Sagan's statements were always speculative and based on scientific principles. He never supported the idea of UFOs as alien spacecraft visiting Earth and consistently approached the subject with skepticism.
Sagan was very skeptical.
If you would believe, as the flying saucer cultists would have us believe, that the majority of the saucer reports are due to visitations, then you have a very strange situation. That means several spaceships are coming to the Earth over interstellar distances every day, as if all the anthropologists in the world were to converge on one of the Andaman Islands in the Indian Ocean, because they just didn't.
I wonder what the guy next to him is smoking. Like, all right, let's talk about aliens. I know what most people smoke when they talk about aliens.
Invented the fishnet there or something. I think it's much more reasonable if you want to speculate on the possibility of extraterrestrial intelligence, that there are very rare visits from extraterrestrials to the Earth. There's no evidence for this. I just say that's not implausible. But to have several visits a day, I think, is straining credulity.
Therefore, the claim that Sagan was a believer turned skeptic due to threats is unfounded and misrepresents his actual position. Great job, Greer. While Stephen Greer has certainly stirred the pot in the UFO community, it's crucial to separate fact from fiction. I strongly recommend to listen to the farce of my alien sister. It's more factual than Stephen Greer has told you the past 20 decades. Always question, always verify. And if you found this video insightful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into controversial topics. Please join my Patreon page at patreon.com/lionsground to support me, my work. And, well, stay curious and stay grounded. Lions Ground out.
Another great video from Lions Ground, just destroying some of these fake claims. And by the way, he has like 8 more videos, some of them a lot more lengthy than the ones that we shared tonight. So we want to take a moment to catch up to the live chat. Do it, Fat Chick Thriller from Mr. Rock. And we have Master Blaster. Maybe got the 50, but Fat Chick Thriller, the dono bomber, in there bombing us with donos through the whole stream again. Let's end strong. Praise the cast. Suffer, Greer. Suffer. Yeah, absolutely. And we have another one from Me Too. Paul Benowitz situation explains a lot about UFOs. Yeah, he was basically gaslit and driven crazy by intelligence operatives that were convincing him that he was seeing aliens. Gigi Abby Lynn is here. Good to see you, Gigi. Another CIA BS psyop about a guy who was married to a 9-year-old girl. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, so I've got a little bit more to share with you before we get to the total slop. One of my big arguments against Stephen Greer being at all credible is that, again, the people that make his documentaries is Third Phase of Moon. There is 2 documentaries in our free documentary section just destroying them and their fakery and their fraud with presenting fake alien spaceships and fake UFOs constantly. But my favorite of Third Phase of Moon is that they once promoted the clearest UFO footage of 2023. And as soon as I looked at it, I said, that's a high altitude balloon. That's not a UFO. And so I got the date and location, and with flightradar24.com, I was able to identify their UFO in 35 seconds. And I'm here to tell you, friends, if you can identify a UFO in 35 seconds, first of all, it's not a UFO. So Third Phase of Moon do this thing where they pretend to be the stupidest UFO guys on planet Earth, or the dumbest or the laziest. So they're constantly promoting fake UFOs. That should give you some insight into the credibility of Greer, because why would he have somebody that keeps getting caught promoting fake UFO videos making his films with him? If he was credible, he wouldn't do that. But this is another of my videos exposing Third Phase of Fake, as I call them, or Third Phase of Moon. Again, these are the guys that make his videos, and they're supposed to be UFO experts. They have a whole team of experts. Somehow they have a team of 5 UFO experts, but nobody knows how to use Flight Radar 24. I'm here to tell you, if you're interested in UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomenon, whatever, you learn to go through a sighting and eliminate the prosaic explanations. In other words, is this a regular aircraft? Is this a high altitude balloon? Is this a blimp? Is this a helicopter? Is this a drone? Before you slap the label of UFO, it's only a UFO if it's unidentifiable. And so this pattern of fakery, fraudery, and deceit by his very filmmakers should prove to you that Dr. Stephen Greer is about as credible as a crackhead, right? Let's take a look at me busting one of Third Phase of Moon, Dr. Stephen Greer's filmmakers' stupidest UFO claims ever. And of course, they over-sensationalize, they clickbait everything in order to get people to click on the video. They basically lie to people for money, and I believe so does Stephen Greer, so they're like peas in a pod. If you know you're a fraud and you're pushing fraudulent fake information, then it makes sense that you would get other guys that have been caught pushing fraudulent fake UFO information for decades to work with you to produce your content. They're experts at producing fake content. So now they're producing Dr. Stephen Greer's content, and I've got a little more to share with you about one of his latest films called Battle for Disclosure, because did you know that a few of the fake whistleblowers, the film was only released last year, and not a month after that film was released, I think, or maybe a few months, several of the so-called UFO whistleblowers he used, which are basically just bullshitters I think he pays, allegedly, to push fake stories, they were busted as complete and total frauds. But he's still selling the film, and he's never acknowledged that two of his fake whistleblowers in that film got busted as total frauds. But back to Third Phase of Moon and how fake they are. Let me educate you on how stupid, lazy, and ridiculous his filmmakers Third Phase of Moon are. Greetings and salutations, friends. This latest Third Phase hoax is the most ridiculous ever. Now, I know they're going to cry and complain and say it's not a hoax, but it is, because all a hoax requires is deception or trickery. And this garbage release of theirs certainly must involve some trickery or deception. This latest joke of a video from them proves they haven't changed one bit. No, I'm wrong. They have changed. They've stopped creating ridiculous fake alien CGI videos. They've stopped making ridiculous UFO videos made out of Star Wars toys on a green screen and more. Yeah. Then they moved on to having other people fake their videos, their fake spaceship and UFO videos. Yeah, they moved on to having other people send them fakes that they would post. And we showed the private messages where they did that pretty recently. Used 100% fake UFO videos that somebody made, told them how they made it. They post it anyway and pretend it's a UFO or a spaceship. It's a lie. They haven't changed. All they've changed is their method of trickery and deception. Now, this new method that they use is the stupidest ever. Literally, I call it the dunce hoaxer defense. Essentially, they put out something as ridiculous as this hoax video, and then they sit back and pretend that they're so stupid they didn't know it wasn't a UFO. It's also funny to point out that these guys have been doing this for many, many years, and they have a whole team of people working for them. And yet not one of them could identify an unknown craft. And by the way, in the original post that they took this video from, the date and location of the so-called UFO sighting was there. So all you have to do is check flight radar. This is unidentified aircraft in the sky. Let's go check flight radar. Now, I know the arguments, well, we don't have time to do extensive research. Listen, it's not extensive research. And in fact, I'm pretty sure you could identify that unidentified craft in a few minutes with flightradar24.com and the date and location. In fact, it won't even take you a few minutes. You can do it in literally seconds. Seconds. It would take them literally seconds. Once you have the approximate geographical location and the time of the sighting, it's easy to rule out conventional aircraft. But they didn't care to do that because that doesn't sell. They didn't want to do that because posting a video of a high altitude balloon is not going to get them views and free money. You know what is? Calling a high altitude balloon a UFO. Even clickbaiting the title, clearest UFO footage of 2023. If you can identify that unidentified aircraft in less than 1 minute, it's not a UFO. Now, we have to decide, did they on purpose post this video without checking flight radar data? Because if they did check the flight radar data, that would ruin this story that they could sell, right? There's only two possibilities here. Either they intentionally didn't check flight radar because they knew this was not a UFO, or these two and their entire team are the dumbest UFO people and laziest UFO people on planet Earth. Because I'm about to show you that Once I looked at the video and saw the date and location of the sighting, I was able to identify that so-called UFO in 35 seconds. Don't believe me? We'll put a timer on the screen. Let's do it. Okay, so we have the same information that they got. The video and the date and location of the sighting. The sighting took place in Roswell, New Mexico, around 12:15 on May 17th. So we go to flightradar24.com. This is the United States map. We're going to zoom in down to New Mexico and Roswell, New Mexico. Okay, now we're going to change the playback to show us May 17th around the time of the sighting. And here we go. We've put that in. Now we let the flight radar show. Ooh, look at that. A balloon pops up right on the map. And in just seconds, we've identified their so-called UFO. It gets better. An airplane that they showed. Balloon. Oh, look, there it is. We've identified that. And we're going to stop the clock. Look at that. In 35 seconds, I was able to identify both those things. So we're supposed to believe that third phase of moon, UFO experts of the world, don't have the time or energy to put 35 seconds into a story that they're going to sell. That's what we're supposed to believe. This is a hoax. Oh, I'm sorry. There's two possibilities here. Either this is a hoax or they're the dumbest, laziest UFO guys on planet Earth. They can use the dunce hoaxer effect. We're so stupid, we don't know how to do what you just did, Steve. We're so dumb and lazy, we can't spend 35 seconds researching a story before we try to sell it. This is a joke. Now, of course, the next day, they decided to put out another video because this got busted almost instantly. Almost as soon as they posted this video, people, including me, identified the so-called unidentified flying object they were selling everyone with clickbait titles. Look at this. This is the clearest UFO footage of 2023, except it's not a UFO to anybody with a brain or with 35 seconds to put in the location of the sighting and the time of the sighting. They didn't do it. Why? There's no money in showing people the truth like I just did. There's no money in showing people how easy it is, 35 seconds to identify an unidentified aircraft video that somebody sends you. They're not experts. They're a joke. They're not researchers. They're a joke. They are garbage peddlers. So there we have a perfect explanation of the people who make Stephen Greer's films and how stupid or lazy they are. There's only two possibilities, like I said. Either they're so dumb and they have a team of 5 UFO experts working for them that they couldn't identify what I identified. 35 seconds is all it took. But if you would have identified it and, oh, it's just a balloon, you can't sell it as the clearest UFO footage of 2023. This is really, it gets into like a form of consumer fraud, in my opinion. But again, I'm not a law enforcement officer or a judge or a lawyer, you know, so I don't know. I guess it's just a gray area. You're allowed to grift on YouTube and lie to people. Just got to pretend you're so dumb you don't know how to use flight radar to identify what you're saying is unidentified in 35 seconds or less. Fat Chick Thriller says, "Hey, Kig, the casino is open." Oh, yeah, they're doing a show tonight. So we'll try to wrap things up so you guys can get over there. But we did hit the overtime goal, so we're going to do some of the extra. And thank you, Fat Chick Thriller, for all the dono bombs tonight, as usual. So we're going to go through the first little bit anyway. Oh, no, wait, I had something to share here, which is... let me get to this. So one of his latest films is called The Battle for Disclosure. That's why I titled tonight's broadcast, The Fake Dr. Stephen Greer's Fake Battle for Disclosure. It's all a grift because he's still selling this documentary. And, you know, I'm sorry, but I grew up where documentaries were supposed to be true stories, not, you know, propaganda. And already what we find out is that 2 of the people in the battle for disclosure have been revealed to be complete and total frauds. This guy, Michael Herrera, is a former U.S. Marine who claimed that he saw an alien back-engineered hovering flying saucer being loaded with these big, huge boxes while he was on a secret mission. Only one problem. His commanding officer came out after he made his big media splash and said that everything he talked about never, ever happened. Why doesn't Stephen Greer pull the film? Does he want to promote frauds that are liars in his films? Because he did. And crickets. You can email Stephen Greer and say, why don't you say something about the complete and total debunking of this so-called whistleblower you had, where it turned out his commanding officer said that he made up the whole story? Why don't you address that, right? You would think he would want, if he really cared about the truth, he'd want to address that. And then, of course, we have this guy who gave himself a uniform. Look at, he just gave himself a uniform. That's not a real uniform. He just got himself some patches made and he wears a uniform. Eric Hecker is supposed to be former Navy and a contractor for Raytheon. He has yet to provide any paperwork proof that he was a contractor for Raytheon. But he did show some pictures of being a plumber in a research station in Antarctica. So he's there to unclog the toilets. He's not there to get the skinny on the secret Antarctic projects. He's more or less been revealed to be a complete and total fraud because he claims he was part of the CIA's Stargate project for remote viewing psychic research. Only one problem, there exists a list of all the people that were involved in the project. Wouldn't you know it? No Eric Hecker. So here's, this is where it gets pathetic. Like Stephen Greer's using like complete and total liars who happen to be in the Marines for a time. Great. And this guy who cleans people's shitty toilets, he's a plumber, right? He unclogs the porta potties. Yes, Eric Hecker is the guy who unclogged the porta potties at the alien secret base. It's just so stupid. It's just so stupid. Yeah, Arlene Atkins says documentaries are supposed to be documented facts, not he said. Yeah, trust me, bro stories. That's all you get with these people. Yes, the document-less documentary. Yeah, documentary with only fake documents, Jason Parker. Very, very astute. So, yeah, we're gonna go into the overtime. So I've chosen to highlight Dr. Stephen Greer's fraud, fake documentarians, and it's interesting. So this documentary that we have on our site for free, it's called The Hoax Files, Episode 1, Third Phase of Moon Exposed. And what's interesting is that Third Phase of Moon tried to intimidate and threaten to sue the filmmaker of this film. And I thought that was a complete and total, I thought that was an injustice. So the person who made this film is a person named Sapiens Culture, and he was scared. He didn't have money for a lawyer, and they were threatening him with copyright claims. And they got the video taken off of YouTube. And then I contacted him and said, you know what? I'm going to put it on my channel. And they're like, we'll copyright claim and sue you too, Stephen, or something like that, to the best of my knowledge and recollection. Then I called their bluff. I put the film out on my channel as a free documentary. This highlights so much of the Third Phase of Moon fraud. And it's so great that Greer has got them making their videos now. Let's get into it, friends. Well, that's weird. So we have a copyright disclaimer. We are into overtime. We're just going to do the first, 10 minutes of this, because it's a great way to show that Greer is not genuine, because he wouldn't use frauds like this that keep getting caught so many times making fake UFO videos. Phase of Moon Exposed. It's been a while since I've seen this. but it's expertly done. It just debunks, and it's in our
On
free
March 6,
documentary.
2022, a
section.
Reddit user uploaded a video to the UFOs subreddit, claiming it is a legit UFO sighting that took place somewhere in the Pacific Ocean in 2012. The footage shows a fleet of unidentified flying objects hovering at low altitude above the sea while performing strange maneuvers. Many believe the footage to be real, while others maintained a skeptical view, given the very limited information about the location, date, and person who recorded the video, as well as the lack of sound. The only way to find the exact location of the sighting is to search for particular landscape features, writings, symbols, signposts, etc. While analyzing the footage, Redditors found an important clue. At one point during the video, the cameraman turns to the right, and we see a car passing behind him.
This is how sloppy they are, too.
By doing some research on the license plate and the car brand,
Remember, they
and
live
based
in
on
Hawaii.
the fact that the incident
These two
occurred
clowns live in
somewhere in the
Hawaii.
Pacific Ocean, it was determined that the sighting took place in Hawaii. Here's why. There are 5 U.S. states that border the Pacific Ocean: California, Oregon, Washington, Alaska, and Hawaii. As to the license plate, despite the poor video quality, we can make out a rainbow, a gap
means it's a
between the
Hawaii
letters
plate.
and numbers, a small writing at the bottom
it's a
and a
license
large
plate
one
from
at the
Hawaii.
top, very similar
So
to a
this is how
Hawaiian license
geolocating
plate.
works.
Personally, I found the video quite familiar. The video quality, and the way the UFOs were recorded, as well as the landscape, reminded me of 2 YouTubers, Blake and Brent Cousins, the owners of the Third Phase of Moon YouTube channel, who also live in Hawaii.
Big coincidence. UFO in Hawaii.
I had
they
the
live in
impression
Hawaii.
that I had seen this exact video before. To check that my memory wasn't deceiving me, I went to their channel, to see if I could find something. Indeed, after a few minutes of scrolling through their old uploads, I came across the
You're right,
same
Mr.
video.
Protractor. He's predicted
The
full
only
disclosure
difference was
within
that
a
the
week,
one posted
or
on
by the end
Reddit
of
was
the
a
month.
bit more zoomed in, and had no sound, because of the cringe music in the original.
And he found the video on their site. It's just a coincidence that it was filmed in Hawaii. They deleted the video from YouTube, but the filmmaker found it using the Wayback Machine. They tried to hide their fakery.
Upon posting
when they
my
get caught.
findings on the subreddit, I was met with a lot of criticism, which I fully understood. Such evidence is not enough to make a final judgment on this case. So further investigation is needed to clear things up. However, while reading the comments, I found a lot of so-called CGI experts claiming that the video showed no signs of fakery, and that creating something like this would require a huge amount of money and effort. Other comments denied the existence of any evidence proving that Blake and Brent Cousins created CGI hoaxes. Therefore, I decided to carry out a thorough investigation, not only to end the controversy regarding the video, but also to expose all the lies and hoaxes
There's
perpetuated
their
by
crack
Third Phase
team
of Moon.
Expert UFO investigators. Oh, my own thing. Hold on. Let me turn off the monetization on that for the time being here. And we'll put it back. Well, I'll just go put it back. Sorry about that, friends. Yeah, it's a free documentary, but it is ad-supported.
Started, let's show you a quick biography of the owners of the channel. The twin brothers, Blake and Brent Cousins, are American multi-award filmmakers and CGI artists. They're also actors, with an active listing on the IMDb database.
They make terrible movies. They've been in terrible movies.
Treasure hunting and collecting antique objects are among their hobbies. Their most notable works in cinematography are Slaughter Day, Rising Dead, and The Night Marchers, a Blair Witch kind of movie.
Low-budget garbage.
They also made several documentaries about the UFO phenomena, such as UFO
Countdown to
Events,
Disclosure
The
was the
Best of
first one
Third
with
Phase,
Greer.
And countdown to disclosure, the secret technology behind the Space Force. The brothers also run a photography business, and according to the Honolulu Star Bulletin archives, they're one of the most successful paparazzi photographers in Hawaii.
That's interesting.
Alright, let's get back to our Reddit investigation. A few hours after I posted on Reddit, a user by the name Extreme Kiwi made a significant discovery, confirming the suspicions that Blake and Brent were the original source of the footage.
Oh, big surprise.
By exploring the Hamakua coast on Google Earth, in Street View
so
mode,
the UFO
more
video
precisely the places near the cousins' home
was
in
filmed
Honokaa,
right near their
and
house.
based on geographical elements in the video, they
Busted!
discovered the location where the video was
Geolocated!
recorded,
Busted!
which happened to be just a mile away from where they
And
lived.
they claim that people send them these videos. So their claim is that somebody just happened to send them a UFO video that was filmed 1 mile from their house at the time. And there's all the geolocation information. So Sapiens Culture did an incredible job busting them. That's why they freaked out and started threatening lawsuits and copyright claims to get it off of YouTube. And it worked for a time until we stood up to Third Phase of Moon and said, no, you don't get to sweep this under the rug, hoaxers. Same place. All the markers are there. 1 mile from their home.
Using the Redditors' research as a starting point, I began comparing the landscapes in their old CGI videos with the areas near their home. It took me just 2 days to easily debunk 10 of their videos.
So let's back that up a little bit so you can see 10 of the UFO videos that they posted
with the areas near their home. It took me just
10 of the UFO videos that they posted on their YouTube channel early in their YouTube channel's history were all taken. All the UFO videos were filmed within a mile from their house.
Just 2 days to easily debunk 10 of their videos.
10 of them. It's just a coincidence. And remember, they keep saying that people send them these videos. They don't own up to filming them themselves until later in their YouTube hoax channel's history. So Sapiens Culture was able to geolocate 10 different UFO videos as all being filmed right near their house. Just a coincidence, right?
Videos. I published the results of my investigation on March 9, 2022. At the time, I made a big mistake not making a video about my research and uploading it to my channel, because as soon as the cousins became aware of my viral Reddit post, they deleted all the evidence.
They try to sweep it on under the rug and delete all those UFO videos that were just so happened to be filmed right near their house.
Fortunately, YouTube videos get archived, so they have nowhere to run and hide the truth. And this time, we'll expose every single lie and hoax perpetuated by them.
Remember, friends, that's 10 UFO hoaxes by Third Phase of Moon, all debunked in the first 7 minutes of this excellent documentary that we host here free on our YouTube channel. Just go to our main channel, scroll the way down to the free documentary section, and we hope to do more like this in the future to be a public benefit.
Okay, without further ado, let's begin.
And they're numbered. This film, I think it busts 50 or 25. I don't know. A lot. It busts a lot of their hoaxes.
On February 4, 2011, Third Phase of Moon uploaded a video of an alleged UFO.
So these guys have been grifting like this since at least, I think, 2005, but this one's from 2011.
Over Jerusalem, in Israel. Because they deleted the original, I tried to find it using the Wayback Machine, but without success. No worries, I copied the title and searched for channels that re-uploaded videos with the same title, and found the deleted footage on Dailymotion.
Yeah, so this video they claimed was a Jewish star UFO that was taken over Jerusalem. And in this documentary, it gets proven that it wasn't in Jerusalem, it was in Hawaii, right near their house again. And there's lot of meticulous research goes into this. Now remember, they post this and claim that this video was taken over Jerusalem. And that's just a CGI fake UFO. Oh, 1 second, friends. I didn't know we were going to do this tonight, or I would have mirrored this unmonetized. 1 second. All right. So it's just, they took a video of a background and then they superimposed this CGI fake video on top of it, of a fake UFO.
The houses, the tower, and the palm trees made me think this was recorded in a town, so I went exploring Honokaa, and after a few minutes, I ended up finding the exact location.
Again, right near their house. And they're lying and saying that the video was taken in Jerusalem. It's filmed right near their house in Hawaii. Just a coincidence, or are these guys fraud, faker, hoaxer, losers?
Things get absolutely comical in the next video.
Hoax number 2. I think we're up to 11 busted hoaxes and we're only 9 minutes in. And remember, these are the guys that make Stephen Greer's documentaries. Complete and total fraud, faker, hoaxers.
Here, we see Blake Cousins pretending to interview 2 eyewitnesses who filmed a strange UFO over Anoka. Remember when they said the sighting took place in Jerusalem?
Well, it's clickbait. You get more views that way.
2 gentlemen that go by the name of Keith and Nathan, and they have an amazing video that they say they...
That's Blake's camera by...
He gives the fake people who he claims filmed the video his camera to hold.
By the way, not theirs, they're lying.
Captured on tape. Check it out. This UFO footage was caught on tape on the Hamakua coast.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
They said it was taken in Jerusalem. That's how dumb they are. Then they show the witnesses who claim that they filmed it, and they say, oh, it was taken in Hawaii. So which one is it?
They are trying to sell this video for how much, guys?
Well,
where are we going to start?
Yeah, it's nice to see you guys. We've dealt with you in the past, but it's going to have to be cash, and this is pretty unique stuff.
Yeah, and when people tell me that hoaxers don't use paid actors to sell their hoaxes, I point them to this example. These are paid actors. They paid to pretend that they were involved in this shit.
Me and Keith are really lucky to get it. How about some cash? Just bring the cash.
Well, definitely. There's $10,000 these guys are asking for an exclusive 10 minutes that we haven't seen yet. They say they have 10 minutes of more exclusive footage that they're willing to reveal for somebody that's going to pay at the highest bid.
You guys are here to buy it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well,
we dealt with you in the
terrible
past.
acting,
Good,
right?
let's
Terrible.
I think we can.
This is cringeworthy.
Great footage. You'll love this.
The number these guys are asking for, they want $10,000 for 10 minutes of it.
We gave you the last bit for cheap, so today...
So can we go on location and then explain...
While negotiating a price to buy the footage, Brent noticed a balloon in the corner of the warehouse, resembling the UFO.
Yeah, but it wasn't a
The
balloon in
eyewitnesses
footage,
became
it was
angry after
CGI.
getting busted, and kicked the brothers out. Blake then explained how much of a truth seeker he is,
Yeah,
and that
he's
he
a
is a
truth
genuine
seeker.
investigator, who does his
They
best
even
to expose
hoaxed a
hoaxers.
hoax, exposing a hoax video.
We're going to have to...
They hoaxed and exposing
We're
a
not going
hoax
to give
video.
this to anyone else.
You know, $10,000 is quite a bit of money to cash out. And
Yeah, everybody's a little short these days, but come on,
we're going to have to get some paperwork
This is
on this.
real, and you're never going to get anything like this again.
I need to cut this for a second. We need to talk about something. What's going on over here?
It has terrible acting.
My cameraman called me over and he exposed the truth behind this lie.
These guys are giving us a bunch of bullshit.
My cameraman has just advised me that there's an object right over there that looks eerily familiar to the video that we
Oh,
just
this
seen.
is so
Is this a big hoax
cringeworthy.
trying to make some money?
So cringeworthy.
Where are these guys going?
I don't know
We
what
should just there get it is over there, dude. See it? It's right there. The truth.
on.
Watch your...
Look out.
Come on.
Out.
Whoa, whoa. Hey, below me. Out of here.
Stop letting them increase your rates.
1 second. let's get back to it. Next time I do this, I will prepare adequately so we don't get hit with the commercials.
Come on, get out of here. You don't bullshit.
So they're such bullshitters, they even hoaxed an exposing a hoax video. They faked exposing a hoax.
Here, fucking go. This is bullshit. Don't move, man. Come on, fuck.
Such terrible
Get out of
acting.
here. This is bullshit. God damn it. Move, man. Come on.
It's amazing what people try and do for money now.
It's amazing what people will try and do for money as he's hoaxing a hoax-busting video.
Nowadays, we at Third Phase of Moon are looking for the truth and exposing fraud. And looking
They're
for
exposing
real UFOs
fraud as
throughout
they're
the world.
committing
So if
it.
you've seen any spectacular UFO sightings, you let Third Phase of Moon know. I'm Blake Cousins, and we'll see you next time.
It turned out that the two guys are actually their friends and own an auction house.
Oh,
Here
look,
they are in
they're
this
buddies.
video uploaded 2 months earlier.
Oh, so it was all fake? Oh, it was all
Welcome back
fake.
to Big Eye Living. Right now we're here in the
Oh,
heart
it
of
was all
Honka.
fake, and they're buddies
Paradise
with
Auctions
they were all
liquidation
in
session.
on
These things are
it.
moving off right off the shelf right here. Check out some of the deals they got going. And they also know how to have fun at the same time.
Yeah, there's one of the guys that was
Two
in
of
on
the
it.
deals that you guys are giving away here. The best. Not only the best, the quality's out.
Oh, so he was just their buddy, and he was in on the
And move the
hoax-busting
stuff out real
hoax
quick.
video.
Look at these guys in action right here. Check it out right here. Come over here.
What
This guy right here,
losers.
he's the man. He's
There's
the
the other
voice
guy
of
that was in
Paradise
on the
Auction. He's got it down,
hoax-busting
and people
hoax.
really like to hear him talk. How long you guys been in business here at Paradise Auction?
22 years at Paradise Auction. We're both mostly out of Hilo. We used to have a down on Holomu Street. We were in there for about 15 years. We had a site there. Now we've been.
All right, so there's our overtime and a little preview of this hoax-busting video. Remember, these are the people that are making Dr. Stephen Greer's documentaries, people that hoaxed a hoax-busting video. Like, how much of a hoaxer do you have to be to even hoax a video where you bust a hoax? And you got to hire your friends to be, like, I guess, paid actors, right? It's so stupid. Abraham M. gifted 5 Truth Seekers memberships, offering me another opportunity to remind you to smash that subscribe button, because if you're in the live chat and a kind and generous person like Abraham M. gifts some memberships, you can win one just by being a subscriber. YouTube randomly distributes these gifted memberships to anybody who's in the live chat who is a subscriber but not yet a YouTube channel member. And we have Swamp EZ was gifted a membership by Abraham M. We have Joe Anthony Yolfo was gifted a Praise the Cash membership. Rat King was gifted a membership by Abraham M. And we have the Divas 3 was gifted a YouTube channel membership. And Matthew McManus was also gifted a YouTube channel membership, all because of the kindness, generosity, and support of Abraham M. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. You could win a YouTube channel membership. So one more thing that I have to share. In evaluating how credible somebody is, I really do think that it's true that, you're as credible as the people that you're hanging out with. Didn't know. Okay, so here we see Dr. Stephen Greer associating closely with Billy Carson, who's also in some of his documentaries. Billy Carson was recently busted as essentially a fraud who uses fake ancient texts to grift and make sensational claims. And here's just an example of some of the sensationalized clickbait that losers on YouTube are all too happy to play along with Stephen Greer's grift, as long as it's trickle down griftonomics. You get the top tier grifter like Greer to come on your show, and you're a bottom feeding grifter. You get a little piece of the grift money. Dr. Stephen Greer, massive alien disclosure news. And that video was essentially Greer repeating the same sensationalized claims. Here's Dr. Stephen Greer with Jason Sands, a man who is running what is perhaps the biggest, I guess you could call it allegedly running, one of the biggest med bed type scams I've ever seen in my life. I've been working on that story forever. I don't know when I'm going to share it with you. But Jason Sands is also the guy who claimed he was getting briefings about secret underground bases and child trafficking under Washington, D.C. In other words, he's a Q-tard grifting loser, and he's all too happy. But Jason Sands is about as credible as a crackhead. Why would anybody credible associate with them? And here I just grabbed this one just to show you. Everybody clickbaits with this guy. Dr. Stephen Greer, declassified. What is he talking about that's been declassified? He's not declassifying anything. He's been known to use completely and totally fake top secret documents. And then, of course, here he is with Blake Cousins, who we've just shown you is as credible as a crackhead as well. Not credible. And so the people that he associates with are fellow hoaxers, basically, fellow grifters. So when evaluating how credible somebody is, one determining factor would be how willing are they to associate with other known grifters. Apparently, Dr. Stephen Greer has no qualms about associating with fellow grifters. He does it all the time. Double Tap Ranger Outdoors says, sorry I missed a live, was going to rewind. Billy Carson, what a clown. Thank you, Double Tap Ranger Outdoors, for your kindness, generosity, and support. It is much, much appreciated. So I could go on for hours more, but I think we've displayed our point that Dr. Stephen Greer is as credible as a crackhead. In fact, if I was in the city again and a crackhead came up to me, holding up a gas can, asking me for money, gas money to get home, I would consider that crackhead more credible and believable and trustworthy than I consider Dr. Stephen Greer. Dr. Greer has collected millions of dollars from the gullible worldwide public, pushing mostly over-sensationalized, under-evidenced claims. He has no evidence. He makes these fantastic, sensational claims. He's been caught using fake bullshit storytellers. His own filmmakers have been caught hundreds of times faking UFO and alien videos. And again, tonight we have just scratched the surface. So let me know in the live chat if you would like to see a part 2 of tonight's broadcast, where we'll get into and document more of Dr. Stephen Greer's history of fakery, fraudery, and bullshittery. We'll take some comments and questions from the live chat before we bounce on out of here. We've had a great night of attendance. Boy, I don't understand this live chat counter. It's telling me that we had 600 live viewers, but I think Twitter is weird with that. So if you get a view on Twitter, they count that as a live thing. And also, some people have asked me about the Kick Uncensored show. We'll be beginning that as soon as I can get my bank information registered with Kick. I have to talk to my accountant wife and get the routing and account numbers so that we can get paid over on Kick. At least the crackhead couldn't claim he turned down $2 billion. Oh, that's another. Yes, let's do that. Some of the other sensational claims of Dr. Stephen Greer is that he turned down $2 billion. The government offered him $2 billion to just shut up and stop talking about aliens. Come on, bro. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Nobody would turn down $2 billion to stop talking about something, especially not a guy who has grifted millions of dollars. He's become very, very rich from this. Another of my favorite of his claims is that 3 different people on his team were assassinated. We looked into those claims, and it turns out that I was able to locate 2 people that did work for Dr. Greer that died, but they died of natural causes. I went to the police in their jurisdiction trying to find out. We've even got on the record statements from the local coroners in those cases. Those were natural deaths. People died of natural causes, and Greer decided to insert that into his grift. So just like David Wilcock, he takes a real event like somebody dying, but then he exaggerates and over-sensationalizes it and just lies about it. Saying that people on your team were assassinated when they died of natural causes, in my opinion, is a form of fraud. And if he's collecting money while he's telling people that members of my team got killed by the men in black, then he should be investigated for fraud-related charges, because he's telling people these are true stories while he's collecting their money or taking money for documentaries where he says these things. Another of my favorite claims is that he, in one of the documentaries produced with, I think it was Countdown to Disclosure, maybe. I don't know. His titles are all very similar, so it's easy to get confused. In another of his documentaries, he claimed that an entire company in Michigan all got murdered because they were developing free energy technology. Well, we went to the state police and the FBI field offices all over trying to find any record of a company that all got murdered. And that didn't happen. And of course, there was excuses, but come on, man. If you're going to say an entire company in Michigan got murdered, there would be police reports. There would be newspaper articles. There would be television coverage, local news coverage of an entire company getting murdered. That never happened. So what we find time and time again is that Dr. Stephen Greer gets caught lying. He is a proven liar and, in my opinion, a proven grifter, allegedly, and nobody should give him a penny. Now he is hyping up his latest claims, claiming that full disclosure is coming by the end of January. Well, here in 2001, Greer claimed that disclosure was just around the corner and that he had the smoking gun evidence. This is supposed to be the smoking gun. This Xerox copy of nonsense, of bullshittery. And when I get a chance, I'm going to start scanning this because this is a treasure trove of Stephen Greer's grifting history. All of his claims of all this stuff go back to at least this book, 2001, where he was selling this apparently or allegedly for hundreds of dollars. Now, I got it from a viewer, and thank them very much. They know who they are. Elise Diabolon actually sent me this and all of Greer's original. Oh, I forgot. Yes, we can do a part 2 because I have all the videos of all these fake whistleblowers that he released in 2001. And I don't know anybody else that has all those videos in perfectly pristine, preserved condition. A viewer of ours, Elise Diabolon, found them on VHS tapes along with this. And purportedly, he was charging hundreds and hundreds of dollars for 2 VHS tapes and this book of nonsense that's filled with fake documents and other fakery, fraudery, and bull. He was charging hundreds of dollars. I don't know anybody that has all those original videos, so we're going to go through them the next time we cover Greer and show you that for decades he's been, platforming and promoting people that are bullshitters. And also, let's put this on the record. Stephen Greer takes advantage, in my opinion, of people in order to sell his narratives. There have been several people that we know he took advantage of, like Mark McCandlish, who was very depressed and killed himself. It's tragic what these guys are willing to do, but is it any surprise that a guy like this would take advantage of mentally ill or vulnerable people in order to sell a narrative? Now, apparently, he's taking advantage of a former heroin addict to sell as a new whistleblower. And remember, around this time last year, he claimed that he had 6 new whistleblowers. 2 of them have been completely and totally debunked as complete and total bullshit artists. It's only been a year. And now he claims he has new whistleblowers again. But hey, Greer, what about the last whistleblowers you claimed were whistleblowers that turned out to be fakes, frauds, and pathological liars? And they've been completely debunked, a few of his last so-called whistleblowers. And why are you using the term whistleblower when they don't have any evidence? Sorry, not sorry, but if you don't have evidence, you're not a whistleblower, you're a storyteller. And it's wise to keep that in mind. If you don't have evidence, you are not a whistleblower. You're just another guy on the internet telling stories. And it's interesting that it feels like nothing ever changes because I've been covering this guy for years and he just comes back with new fake stories. He doesn't explain when his old fake stories get busted or debunked. Why doesn't anybody who has him on their podcast ask him about the flares? Ask him about the fake alien bijou that's a cactus off in the distance. Why doesn't anybody ask him why he's working with the 2 biggest frauds in the UFO community to produce his films? Why doesn't anybody ask him why he got caught lying, saying that people on his team got murdered? Why doesn't anybody ask him why he got caught saying he went on a secret mission to an underground alien base with Billy Gibbons of ZZ Top? Why doesn't anybody ask him why he got caught lying about, an entire company in Michigan getting murdered? Why doesn't anybody ask him what happened to the $500,000 that he collected, claiming he would he would produce a free energy device and give it to the world for free and open source it? Why doesn't anybody ask him? And I'm tired of this, so I am putting together my own briefing. I'm putting together a briefing called Stephen Greer is a liar and a grifter. And I'm going to start sending it. If you're going to go on PBD podcast, I'm going to find out who their producers are. And I'm going to prepare a specially prepared briefing video about all of your history of lying, grifting, and scamming people. And maybe, just maybe, if I keep doing that, somebody will finally ask you real questions. And but there will always be people that take advantage of the public's willingness to believe these people, even without evidence. And it's people like PBD Podcast and Sean Ryan and others who are raking in tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of monetized dollars worth of views by just playing along. That's part of the deal. You just got to play along with the grifters like this. So what can I say, friends? The casino is open. I'm going to go watch over there. Make sure you check them out, kick.com, Kino Casino Gaming. We've done our due diligence. Thank you all very much for helping us to hit the goal. If you're listening in audio podcast land, we want to remind you that we love and appreciate you, but you're missing half the fun. So go on over to YouTube, put Truth Seekers, one word, in the search bar, look for me, the strange guy with sunglasses. Go to the channel, smash the subscribe button, hit that notification, and you too will know when we're doing a taping for the podcast. Come and be a part of our live broadcasts. We love the interactivity, and come and be a part of it. Don't just watch the show. Don't just listen to the show, though we do love and appreciate those audio podcast listeners. Come and be a part of the show. And if you haven't already, let me remind you, you can visit our website, truthseekershow.com, where you can get all the latest episodes, whether you want it in audio format or video format. They're all there, truthseekershow.com. Be sure to follow me at Stephen Cambion on X, formerly Twitter. Again, it's at Stephen Cambion on X. We always post information relevant to the show on my X or Twitter. It's important to follow me there. That's probably the best place to follow me. If you have anything to message me, please do. Oh, yeah, I want to mention that too. Please, pardon me. Lately, I get that we have a worldwide audience and people forget about things like time zones. But lately, people have been messaging me on Facebook at 3 o'clock in the morning. Please don't do that. 3 o'clock in the morning, my time. If you have to message me about something or send me links or things you want me to be aware of, just email me at truthseekershow@gmail.com. That's truthseekershow@gmail.com. Al Garay reminding me that Goofon says Third Phase hasn't hoaxed anything in 5 years. I mean 3 years. I mean 2 weeks now. Yeah, we sure felt it, that clown. But what are you going to do? We'll take a few more comments. Ty E. McCullough Wise says Sean Ryan was doing the same thing. He kept mirroring my MySpace page and my ex-girlfriend's MySpace page. They keep using it for inspiration in Hollywood movies and songs. I don't know what that's about. Yeah. So, my friends, we have done our due diligence. And we should be back tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or I'm sorry, we should be back tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with another wonderful episode of the Wacky World of Wilcock. For now, I think we've done our due diligence. I want to thank you, all of you kind and generous benefactors, you people buying YouTube memberships, you super chatters, super sticker people, and all you people. Remember, you could throw a couple bucks in our hat, even if you're watching a replay. Just hit the thanks button. We thank all you super thanks people, you Patreon supporters, you YouTube, you PayPal pledgers, and of course, all of you people buying me a coffee. Instructions for how to help, where viewer supported, are in the description of the video. We thank every person that sends any support our way. So, yeah, we've done our due diligence, and I'm glad we could get through this. A lot of people have been asking me about Greer again. You can always go to our main page and hit that little search tool and just put Stephen Greer in there, and there's a treasure trove of previous coverage into the fakery, fraudery, disinformation, and misinformation circus that is Dr. Stephen Greer. But tonight we try to give you just a general overview of some of that history. And I think we were successful. So thanks to all of you for joining us. Yeah, so that's all I got for you, friends. Until next time, my name is Stephen Cambian. Good night, and God bless all of you.
Dark corners of the night, secrets hidden from the light. Whispers turn to screams, shattering all your dreams. Eyes wide open now,